Warning, the following podcast contains spoilers, so if you don't want to know that a mall Santa gets his wiener cut off, stop listening now.
The International House of Horror.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the International House of Horror podcast, a low-budget podcast for low-budget horror movies. I'm your host, Rocco, aka the Mad Pancaker, and across from me is none other than my co-host, Scary Perry.
Hello there.
How you doing over there, Scary Perry?
Good.
We're winding down from the holiday season, so how was your holidays?
Real quick, listeners, on a serious note, the Mad Pancaker and I, our prayers go out to Damar Hamlin and his family. This happened yesterday as we were recording.
Mm-hmm.
And
very tragic.
Very tragic. We wish the best for, obviously, him and his family. Okay.
So other than that, how was your holidays? Festive and joyous and everything?
Jolly. I'm fat.
Nobody tried to suffocate you with a like a plastic bag, or I don't know, tried to decapitate you while you're sleigh riding, or give me a second to think. Tried to push you off a balcony at a sorority house. I'm running out of Christmas horror related themes. No gremlins tried to attack you, or hobo goblins, gremlin knockoffs.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I've been nice.
Are you sure? You've never done anything naughty this year? Well, enough foreshadowing for our upcoming review, but
I plead the fifth.
So let's dive into hotcakes for this episode. So, and another side here for our first hotcake. So a big Italian director passed away not too long ago, within a week or two, I think. Ruggero Deodato, very famous Italian horror director. He directed most famously Cannibal Holocaust, which very controversial film, but he's done a bunch of other stuff too.
Controversial film? Is that foreshadowing?
Well, this Cannibal Holocaust is probably a little more controversial than this film.
Probably.
For other reasons. So, wanted to cover that. Big loss to the horror community. He did live a long time. I think he was 80. He was in his 80s. I can't remember if it was 82 or 88, but lived a long life, contributed a lot to the horror community. Anyway, so dive into some hotcakes here. So since it was holiday season, and my birthday also happened a little bit a while back too, so we got birthday / Christmas presents to go over. So I'll have to get some pictures. I need to do like a picture Instagram dump because I haven't been taking pictures of my hotcakes lately, but I'll have to take some pictures and dump some stuff. So first up, we got this cool little Freddy plush that my brother got me for Christmas. It looks like NECA owns the company that makes it, but it's like Kid Robot Funny or something like that. That's what the tag says. So it looks pretty cool.
That's Freddy Krueger, not Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right. So just try to cover these real quick. So we got these...
I wouldn't sleep with that thing if I were you.
Right? Might have some unpleasant dreams.
Oh, these look cool.
So we got some solar bobbleheads.
Look at these.
Who made these? Is this Ruz? I have no clue who those are.
I've never heard of that company.
But like I said, I'll have to do some pictures. But
they're Mexican.
They're solar powered. So you got me one of Freddy Krueger and one of Jason Voorhees. So those are pretty cool.
You gonna stick one on the dash? You know, I wouldn't stick it on the dash because it would get sun damage probably.
Yeah,
they look too cool to not.
They are cool. It's probably just put on a shelf somewhere and.
I get solar power things are cool, but they get sun washed.
Yeah, but I mean it runs from just your everyday lights. They run pretty good. I'll just try to cover some of these presents real quick and then I'll flip it back to you for some hotcakes. Plus, we can run through all these presents real quick. So I got a pop of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course. Pretty cool looking pop. It's got got the picture of him running on the back from the first movie, so that's pretty cool. And then a little one here. So my brother got me this. Who does this? It's called Icons. It's by J Draws or something. I don't know. This cool little keychain of Jason Voorhees here. It says Frightening Friday. I don't know if it's just because it's generic and they don't have the license to it. One of those type things where, you can just kind of rip off stuff. But it's a pretty cool looking keychain. It's like this rubber keychain, so looks pretty cool. And so which of these gifts should I cover? Tell you what, let me do your gift to me first real quick, and then I'll cover my other 2 gifts. So none other than Scary Perry got me this cool book here called Giallo Fantastique, which is it's a compilation of short stories inspired by famous Giallo works. So looks pretty cool. I'll have to check it out. So thank you there, buddy, for getting me that for Christmas.
Is that trash on the cover? It looks like she's like being groped by old men.
Maybe. So anyways, I'll cover this one first. So my brother...
I almost got this thing at a...
Oh, did you? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't know something.
I was just fixing
I almost
the
got
computer.
this thing at a local toy convention.
Oh, that's cool. So I got this... it's a 3-pack collection from... Who did this? It is NECA.
It's got to be NECA.
So it's real toys. Yeah. So of... the Silver Shamrock Trick-or-Treaters from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So you got your jack-o'-lantern, your witch, and then your skeleton costume. And it's got alternate heads with their faces melting and the bugs coming out, which is pretty cool. And it even comes with a lenticular TV that, as you flip it back and forth, it flips from the Silver Shamrock logo to the Magic Pumpkin. So that's pretty cool. And the back of the box is very tongue-in-cheek and,
very 80s.
Yes, it's very... advertisement heavy, like you trying to order the costumes and advertise them. So it's got a little cutout to mail it in. Yeah. But obviously it says to mail to Silver Shamrock Novelty. So I wouldn't recommend mailing it in.
I wonder what actually happens if you did. They'll be like, "Why'd you cut the box?"
Well, it's a Santa Mira, California. So good luck finding that place, as it's a fictional town. But
UPS, like what? Or USPS.
And then the last gift from my brother. So he got me. So the artist, I know it's a Facebook page, and his handle is Vile Consumption, and I've known this guy for a little bit. I see him at the local conventions, and he does some cool horror artwork where he takes famous comic book covers and reskins them like horror films. Cool. So, for example, the famous...
I probably have one. I just don't even know it.
Yeah, I think I got you one as a present one time.
Didn't I get a Return of the Living Dead one, maybe?
Maybe. I think I got you a Season of the Witch one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As a present the one time. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, not George A. Romero's Season of the Witch. 2 different movies.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest one to describe is he has one of the famous Spider-Man cover of Kraven the Hunter, where, here lies Spider-Man, and you see Spider-Man crawling out of the grave.
Yeah.
You probably know the cover.
Yeah.
He reskins it as Jason Voorhees, and it says Jason lives on the tombstone, and he's coming out of the thing. So it's very cool. So what he did is he made these cards inspired by the old school Marvel Comics cards from back in the day, and they have the strength meter on the back. So you got Jason takes Manhattan, you got Maniac Cop, got some deep cuts. There's some little bit of sci-fi stuff, there's Kurgan from Highlander, there's Videodrome, there's even Chud. Man, I'll pass these over so you can look at them. But you got Palmer from The Thing, you got the Chatter from Hellraiser, RoboCop's in here too. So like I said, there's a little bit of sci-fi, but all sorts of horror and sci-fi icons. So it's very cool. Like I said, if you want to check them out, Vile Consumption. Yeah, I think it's either, how many cards are, hold on, let me just check the numbering on the cards. So there's 30 cards altogether. So they come in packs of 10. They're not randomized or anything. The only thing randomized is you get a foil, and your foil's random, but you're guaranteed all 10 cards, and they come in sets of 10. So the first set was cards 1 through 10, and then so they're very cool. Like I said, check them out. Vile Consumption. I don't know if he has a DeviantArt under that name as well. I don't know how big DeviantArt is anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
I'm sure people probably still use it, but it's kind of fallen a little bit by the wayside. I don't hear people talk about it as much. But you could definitely find him on Facebook. I've searched him up on Facebook before. Very cool guy. I don't know how many other conventions. Oh my God,
it's the best card. Reggie from Fantastic.
Oh yeah, Reggie. And he's got the quadruple barreled shotgun.
That's the best. Oh,
yeah, so... Oh, I forgot 2 other presents. So I don't have it down here with me, but Perry's seen it. My brother got me a T-shirt, a Nightmare on Elm Street T-shirt with Freddy Krueger on a tarot card.
It's a tarot card.
I know it's from Spencer's. Spencer's, I know they have one for Ghostface and stuff like that. They got the tarot card T-shirts, and it's got a picture of Michael Myers or whoever in the T-shirt. But he got me the one for Freddy because he knows I'm a big Freddy Krueger fan. And then as I'm wearing it right now, and Perry's seen this, good old J-Bones. J-Bones sure loves me for putting up with me coming here and recording this podcast all the time to his joint. But he got me this cool hoodie of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And it's got all the clowns on it. It's very bright and colorful like the clowns, so it's very cool looking. Thank you for that. I'm wearing it right now too, so I might have to take it off because it's a little warm down here. Maybe I'll do that as I toss it over to you real quick so you could do some hot cakes real quick, Perry, and then I'll Then we'll flip it back to me. I'll cover some of the movie pickups I picked up.
All right.
So I'm going to take this off real quick. So I'm still listening to you, though, buddy.
It's all right. My brother got me 3 books by Noah Patterson. They're called Game Exploitation. It's a series of grim horror role-playing games with ultra simple rules. There's 3 different ones. They almost seem like one-shots. I'm sure you probably could play it a couple of times. And some of these are, they're standalone. I don't know if one of these was solo, but I'm sure you could play with somebody else. And then I'm sure some of these are not. So anyways, though, this one is really cool. It looks like an old VHS cover. It's called Into Terror. Ultra simple rules for demonic horror role-playing for 1 player. It has the Please Rewind horror sticker on it. Not really. 99 cents, like to rent it per night. And then in the background it has like 2 skulls and a girl with an upside down cross on her head. Pretty cool. And then this,
they look
other
pretty
one,
cool.
This one has, it's called Cannibal Zombie Flesh Eaters, and it has a zombie on the cover of it. And this one is called Camp Bloodbath, and it has a guy that kind of looks like a Jason turned into a gorilla with a gas mask and a machete. But it might be cool, hey?
Yeah, it's an accurate description there. It's holding a severed head, too. That's pretty cool. So they definitely look cool. Definitely have to check those out at some point. So you got another hotcake pair, or you want me to take another swing?
I'm out.
All right. So I'll cover. My next one was kind of a group order. So Severin Films had their Black Friday sale, and while this package wasn't on sale, and I know some people griped about the price of it online, and I agree it was a bit pricey, but I didn't care because it was a film I haven't seen. I know that I wanted to watch it before, so they had coming out on their Black Friday for exclusive. They had this like Dario Argento bundle of stuff. So first off, we'll go over this real quick. So in the bundle, and that was the reason I could have just got the film that I wanted by itself, but in the bundle it came with Dario Argento's autobiography, Fear. That's cool. And it looks pretty cool. Yeah. It's got pictures in there. Its autobiography delves into all of his history. I haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to it though. Big Dario Argento fan, so definitely something I wanted to get. And then so in this package there's like a big 8 film package, but they weren't all Argento films, so I went with the one that just had the Argento films. So the big one in this that really caught my eye and I wanted to see is Four Flies on Grey Velvet. So it's the third in his Animal Giallo trilogy, which includes his first film, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and then the second one in the series is the Cat o' Nine Tails, and then this is the third one. And it's probably the least seen one from what I've read, and
that cover is weird.
It's very weird. So I'm not going to show you the back of the box because I feel like the back of the box kind of, and it's got a reversible slip cover with the Italian title like a lot of these boutiques like to do with their covers. But I feel like the current one gives away the ending a little bit too much. Like I look at that, I'm like, I have a feeling that person's going to be the killer just because of the way it's set up. I mean, it doesn't directly state it, but the interesting thing about this one was, from what I heard, it wasn't completely lost, but it didn't exist in good quality. So it was kind of like a lost film for a while until the early 2000s when it finally got a DVD release and they found a good cut of it. Because I've seen clips of it online from people when they do talk about it, and the clips are very shaky, like VHS type quality. But this is 4K, so it's got the 4K, the Blu-ray, in what's disc 3? Because I think it has. So it definitely has. So yeah, it's got the 4K, the Blu-ray, and then it has the English version, which is trimmed by 2 minutes, so it's missing a few things. So this is one of those where there's a couple scenes that, even with the English dub, they have the Italian audio because they don't have the English dub to those scenes. And then disc 4 is the soundtrack, which, so Ennio Morricone does the score to this, so big famous composer there. And I was really impressed with this. I think this is one that I might do a quick cakes on soon, so keep an eye out for a video on that. I haven't recorded it yet, but I think it's would make for a good quick cake where I give my opinion. But I was very impressed with it. Probably some of the best use of slow motion ever in a movie towards the end. It's great. The twist is a bit and the story, it's weird because it recommends you watch it in not black and white, watch it in the dark. The director intended for this film to be viewed in pitch blackness, but it's not it didn't really enhance the theme to me. I did turn off the lights. I'm just like,
I'd fall asleep.
Right?
For sure.
That was one thing.
Full Perry tilt.
I mean, it didn't. I mean, you could have probably argued you could just watch all of his films in the dark, you know what I mean? It didn't really, you could watch it with the lights on. It's not going to hurt the atmosphere of it. But it's a very fun film. I think the ending is really what sends it over the top. For me, it might be, I'd have to watch The Bird with the Crystal Plumage again because I've only watched that once. I did enjoy it, but I think might be, I do like the Cat O' Nine Tails, but the twist in that one is near impossible to guess. Like, there's no like real good hints at who the killer is. There's also some shaky science in this that I think is just made up bullshit for like horror movies like they do sometimes, but it's still a fun ride. I'd probably give it's like 4.5 to 5, I think, in the range. I'd have to watch it again, but it was very fun. Like I said, the ending is what sent it over the top for me. I don't know if it's quite 5 covered with syrup like some of my more favorite Argento films, but still very good. So next up, so this is interesting. It wasn't like a must get for me, but I figured if I'm getting the bundle, why the heck not? So it's a Dario Argento film, and this isn't a horror film, but we're going to talk about it because it's his only non-horror / thriller / giallo entry. It's called The 5 Days. It's based on the 5-day revolution in Milan, I believe. Yes, 5-day siege of Milan by the Austrian army, and it's kind of like a black comedy a little bit. And this is another one that was, I guess, kind of lost, and it's not really seen too much just because, it's outside of his normal wheelhouse. It's not something that a horror person would be looking for, but it's something that a Argento fan would probably want to check down. I haven't watched yet, but looking forward to it. And then in this bundle also came with a couple of pins. And like I said, I'm not a big pin guy, but these looked cool. I'm actually impressed with the size. They're pretty hefty size looking pins here. So we got a pin of, I think I said this was from Severin Films. They do these Hall of Fame series pins of famous horror actors and directors. Like they got them for Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and they all looked pretty cool. It was definitely something where I'm not a pin guy, but I could definitely see myself getting more of these. So obviously the bundle came with, this one should technically be 26, I think. Because there's actually 2 number 25s, and they realized that they misnumbered them for the latest one. But this is it's a pin of Dario Argento, and it's cool. It's got him, and it's got half his face is like covered in blood. It's pretty cool looking. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So, and then the other pin that came with this set, as part of this bundle I got, was a pin for the 4 Flies on Grey Velvet. So it's got the eyeball, which plays a big part in the movie. It's got a knife in the pupil of the eyeball, and then it's got the 4 flies sitting on the eyeball, so it's pretty cool looking. And then, so I got another one just because I'm a big Mario Bava fan. I need to watch more of his stuff. I got a bunch of stuff backlog that I want to watch of his, but so this is the real number 25 in Severin Films Hall of Fame pin series, but a pin of Mario Bava. Nothing fancy about his. He's not like covered in blood or anything, but he's, still a handsome looking guy.
Yeah, it's like, he has some blood.
He's kind of got like a Vincent Price pencil mustache going on too. I never knew what Mario Bava looked like, but I saw him like, oh, he's pretty cool looking. But I got him mainly because I like Mario Bava stuff. So
don't say it.
Better mustache
than
Scary Perry.
I'm keeping it now. It's mine now.
All right, so I got 2 more to cover real quick.
All right.
So this one. And because I was doing an order through Severin Films, and they had a bunch of stuff on discount, so we got to hide this one. This was the special one.
Oh, he's got a secret special one.
I got a secret special one. So I knew about this for a while, and I'd want to get it and watch it. But like I said, since I was browsing through their catalog, so I'm like, since I'm putting an order, let's see what they have on sale for the Black Friday. So a lot of their stuff was like 50, 40% off. So I picked up title Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat. And let me tell you, this probably has almost nothing to do with the actual Black Cat story of Edgar Allan Poe, other than there's a movie being filmed in it called The Black Cat.
That's a cool cover.
It does have a cool cover. So essentially, before Argento made his 3rd entry in the Three Mothers trilogy, this is like a nod to the Three Mothers trilogy before as a trilogy. It almost was the 3rd Three Mothers movie. From Luigi Cosi, he's the director of it, and he's done stuff like he did Star Crash, Contamination, Paganini Horror, which I've talked about before. Luigi Cosi works with Argento a lot. I think he worked on, I don't know if he's done like assistant director, but I think he might have worked on Suspiria with Argento in like a production capacity, not obviously, but he's done stuff with Argento before. I'm probably wrong about the Suspiria thing. I know he's worked on other movies with Argento before though. And he didn't want to make this an official part of like an adaptation because I guess from watching the behind the scenes stuff, Daria Nicolodi wanted it because she also wrote this, I think, wanted it to be the 3rd entry in the Three Mothers. And for how good Mothers of Tears is, this is a better movie, and it probably should be considered the unofficial 3rd entry in the Three Mothers trilogy. But very fun film, probably at least a 4.5. Very colorful too, like Argento stuff, even though it's by Cosi. It's got Caroline Munro in it. It's got, I'm trying to look at some Urbano Barberini, who's He was in opera. He's been in a lot of other stuff. Ironically enough, it was originally released in Italy as Demon 6.
What?
The Demons. Yeah, I think. We watch Movie Timelines, the YouTube channel by Josh Spiegel. He recently did a video about the Demons timeline.
Oh, boy.
And there's only 2 official entries, but very infamous in Italy. There's a ton of films that try to cash in on more popular films as knockoffs or saying that they're direct sequels when they're not. So there's zombies, or not zombies. Well, zombies is another one where there's a million unofficial sequels to it. Yeah, there's a bunch of unofficial sequels in the Demon timeline, but there's really only 2 entries. But very fun, very colorful. Like I said, it does involve the 3 mothers. It's also kind of meta. Before there was a lot of meta horror movies because they talk about horror movies in it. They talk about Suspiria in it, which is kind of interesting. So, and then last but not least, so this, I've known about this film for a little bit, and I don't think it's really like a horror movie, but I have to talk about it because I believe this is as close to it gets about a movie being about the life story of Scary Perry.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So, we have The Masturbating Gunman.
What the fuck?
And I've known about this film for a little bit just because the title is so ridiculous. I'm like, how can I not own a movie called The Masturbating Gunman? And then they had their sale going on. I'm like, let me see if they have this movie because I've missed out on it before on other sales. And sure enough, I almost got the autograph version because that was the only one I forgot, but I don't really need an autograph from some random... It's an indie film. It's very... I can't wait to watch this one.
Completely off the wall sleaze.
Yes.
I'm going to say there's going to be a lot of nakedness in this skin.
When scrolling through some screenshots that they have for it, there's a screenshot in it that is...
known as Cunty McFuck.
Yeah, that's like the best character name ever, right? But yeah, there was this one shot still image from you scroll through the still images when you're browsing the entry on the website. And I got to one, I'm like, that's exactly what I expected from a film called The Masturbating Gunman.
Not late 1997. Oh boy.
But yeah, it looks like a hilarious, fun romp.
Don't masturbate when you watch this.
God, no, I hope not. The only inaccurate thing about this is probably the gunman part. I don't know if Scary Perry actually owns a firearm or runs around and as a vigilante trying to fight criminals and save nuns.
I plead the fifth.
And this weird box cart. It's got this masked gunman and he's clutching this nun. And there's just tons of underwear hanging on clothespins on a clothesline. And then a bunch of silhouettes of women in panties.
Weird as shit.
Oh, man. I'm surprised this wouldn't be a Vinegar Syndrome film. You know what I mean? Just based on how off the wall and sleazy it is. But Severin covers some of that stuff too. But like I said, I was doing an order. I saw it. I'm like, I got to order this because this film looks ridiculous. So, and yeah, it also they threw in a little Severin sticker of their logo. So that was pretty cool. Anyways, I think that's all the hotcakes we got. Right, Perry?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's dive into our Christmas episode. Be a little later than Christmas, still behind schedule, but we'll get caught up sooner or later. So we have the 1984 Christmas slasher film, Silent Night, Deadly Night. So
you mean Sleigh Ride?
Is that an alternate title?
Yeah, it was originally called Sleigh Ride.
Oh, really?
TriStar changed the title.
Gotcha. So it stars...
I'll elaborate that on
sure.
later.
It stars Lillian Chauvin, Gilmer McCormick, Tony Nero, and introducing Robert Brian Wilson as Billy, the main character of the film, co-starring Charles Deerkop, Linnea Quigley, which I believe this is her first appearance on the International House of Horror podcast in a film. She was referenced in a spoiler intro before, but first real appearance. Randy Stumpf, Britt Leach, Tara Buckman, and Will Hare. And more people, but I'm tired of writing down all these names of the opening credits, so I just stopped at that point. I'm like, all right, anybody who is a co-star.
Music, you say Judith Roberts?
Yeah, she's in this, but like I said, at that point, I'm like, all right, credits, that's enough.
She was actually uncredited, but anyways.
So you got music by Perry Botkin.
Me?
Nah, different Perry.
Oh.
Edited by Michael Spence, director of photography Henning Schellerup, and executive produced by Scott J. Schneid and Dennis Whitehead, based on a story by Paul Kamey, and written by Michael Hickey, produced by Ira Richard Barmack. We'll have more to say about that name in a little bit, because it does come up in the film. And directed by Charles E. Sellier, Jr. And without further ado, we'll dive right into the movie here. First, we get a notice that the unrated DVD, this popped up on it, because I have the... Oh, yeah, I got Oh, before we dive in, read the description on the back of the box here. So I got the 2-pack with Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. So
I did on Blu-ray.
well, there you go. So we got.
Oh wait, it doesn't have the second movie.
Yeah, I probably need to.
Mine
update
has
Blu-ray.
the.
How was the added scenes in it? Where they still have like they're still the quality. You
the
can tell the
stock
different
footage.
quality when it changes to
it's
the missing
crap,
the unrated
because they
cut.
couldn't clean it up. Yeah,
Right. It's probably
mine came with the rated and unrated.
it came with the rated one as well.
And the unrated.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you can watch this one with just the rated one. But anyway, so Silent Night, Deadly Night is the heartwarming story of little Billy Chapman, who was traumatized by his parents' Christmas Eve rape and murder, then brutalized by sadistic orphanage nuns.
They just write that right on the.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Christmas Eve Harvey Weinsteining and murder. But when a grown-up Billy is
Sure he didn't produce this movie. I'm sorry.
Hey, he did produce a lot of slashers back in the day early on. Most famously, I think the first Weinstein film was The Burning.
Never seen it.
It's okay. But when a grown-up Billy is forced to dress as Jolly St. Nick, he goes on a Yuletide rampage to punish the naughty.
Punish.
Santa Claus is coming to town, and this time he's got an axe. Robert Brian Wilson and Linnea Quigley star in this jaw-dropping horror hit that a nation of angry mothers still cannot stop. Fun little description there. But anyways, like I said, and on the opening of the DVD, I don't know if yours said this as well, but we get a notice that the unrated DVD had to use 2 different film elements to complete the film, so there's an extreme graininess in some scenes that were put back in. But I don't think it really hurts it.
It says that, yeah.
Yeah, it says that as a disclaimer on yours too.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then I think I read it, and then when it started happening, I'm like, is there something wrong with my thing?
No, it's just where
Yeah.
they had to get the unrated footage from. But I don't think it hurts the experience.
Nah, it's a little weird, but it's not that bad.
Hey, it's if you want to see the unrated scenes, it's the best you can do, right?
Yeah.
So we open with a song being sung by a little girl as the title card of a wreath with the word Silent Night above it slowly approaches the screen. Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, Christmas Eve is slowly fading. Can you hear him in the night? Close the doors, turn out the lights. And just as the little girl stops finishing singing the last words there, and the wreath is in full view, we get our first Tempo Magazine stinger as the music kicks into high gear with this and the words Deadly Night are added to the wreath title card in blood. I'm like, wait, I thought we were watching Silent Night, Bloody Night. Or were we supposed to be watching Don't Open Till Christmas?
Oh, boy.
Or maybe To All a Good Night? I get my Christmas Santa-themed slasher movies confused, because there's a lot of them. Although I did... Oh, so that reminds me... Oh, I skipped over some things, but I'll come back to it in a second. So that reminds me that I did on my website at themadpancaker.com. I did a write-up, a short stack, as I call it, a brief little blog about Don't Open Till Christmas, which is kind of a turn on its head because it's like it's a Christmas slasher, but the killer is hunting Santas. You know, people dressed up as Santa. It's kind of interesting.
This is go to a bunch of malls.
It takes place in Britain, so I don't know how many malls are there, but yeah, you get they're usually on the street, like kind of the bell ringing Santas, that type of stuff. There's this Santa at a party and he gets killed, so it's a very interesting one. I recommend you go to mattpaker.com and check it out. But before I get too far in, because I forgot that to mention in the hotcakes, we have a new patron, and if you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/themadpancaker. Helps our low budget podcast become not so low budget. So our new patron is none other than J-Bones, coming in at the $10 tier, which means at the $10 tier, you get to pick a movie for us to review. So as soon as you can, J-Bones, let us know what movie you'd like for us to review in the future, and we'll fit into our schedule, and we'll cover it.
Make sure the Mad Pancaker doesn't like it. Something current. Make him suffer. Punish.
No.
Punish.
Anyways, back to the plot breakdown here. Then we get some creepy piano number with disconcerting chimes chiming in. Some chilling music over the opening credits. We're already off to a good start with this one. I really like that you know the music I'm talking about with the chiming.
Yeah.
It somehow feels Christmassy a little bit, but it's got a creepiness to it, which I really like.
Yep.
So we fade in on a station wagon driving through bleak Utah farm country as the title card tells us it's Christmas Eve 1971. Gee, movie, really? You're telling me that a movie called Silent Night, Deadly Night doesn't take place during Easter? Like the bleak-looking farmland wasn't a giveaway for the time of the year either, because like you could tell it's kind of like in that early winter part where there's not too much snow. I don't know how winters are in Utah, but around here, like when you get into November, the grass kind of starts drying up and turns brown, and but it's kind of bleak and cold out. So in the station wagon are a family of 4. We got young Billy, his infant brother Ricky, and his mom and dad are driving to see Grandpa at the school, wink wink, aka the Utah Mental Facility, while Christmas music plays. So the song playing on the radio, it's called Christmas Fever, or at least that's like the main lyric to it. Is this a real song? Because I know a lot of these movies make songs for their movies. Like, I'm sure the title song isn't a real song. It's something they made for this movie.
Yeah, it's like, hold on one sec. So the title song, I was looking this up.
I just call it Santa's Watching because...
I think that's what it's called. Title song, Santa's Watching, written by Morgan Ames and Doug Thiel. And Christmas Fever by one of the producers, Ira Barmack.
Ira Barmack? Okay, so it's probably made for the film.
As Ira Barmack.
There we go. That's another... I didn't write down any of the lyrics, but I remember it was kind of catchy, too. I'm like, man, why don't some of these, like, obscure... Because there's a lot of movies that make up their own Christmas songs for their movies just because, that way you don't have to pay rights and everything. But they're actually pretty catchy and pretty decent. I'm surprised they haven't caught... I don't know what the rights is for trying to play those songs on the radio, but I think they'd be good plays on the radio. Although I don't know how much you'd want to play songs on a regular radio station associated with horror movies during the Christmas season. But I still think they work. So Billy, he's reading The Night Before Christmas in the back seat, and I can't help but feel, based on all the Christmas horror movies I've watched, that every image of Santa or Santa memorabilia is naturally creepy looking. Show me a Santa anywhere in any sort of memorabilia that doesn't kind of look creepy. I mean, he is a full-grown adult that goes around the world to give gifts to children. A full-grown man that wants to visit children. Nothing creepy about that. So Billy asks if he could stay up to see Santa. But his mom says it's naughty to stay up past his bedtime. And we all know Santa doesn't bring presents to naughty children. Were you a big Courage the Cowardly Dog fan growing up?
Watched a little bit of it.
Anytime I think of the word naughty, I think of the episode with the weird cousin barber who's really creepy. And every time he says naughty, he says naughty. So that's how I always say it now. Also, get used to the whole naughty thing. That's going to be a big theme of this movie. So Billy is worried that they won't get home before his bedtime. But his mother reassures him and tells him Santa has a big surprise for him tonight. Look, I already made one joke at the expense of Santa. I'm not going to sully his good name anymore.
Oh my God. Really?
I don't care what the reports say about all of his trips to Epstein Island. Oh man, I'm just going to stop there.
To a 10-year-old,
yeah, I'm sure
huge.
he's just taking gifts to... I'm sorry. I'm sure he's just taking... Oh, jeez. I think I'm just going to cut that joke. Also, I'm sure that's not foreshadowing anything that's about to happen later on.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, no, the big surprise, you know.
I know.
So they finally arrive at the school, wink, wink, and go inside to see Grandpa.
Okay.
Do you think it's the same school with Scary Pod?
I hear thoughts in my head of this place. All right, so when they arrive there, they zoom in onto the sign that says Utah Mental Facility.
Right.
And it is like the longest zoom ever.
Yes, it is.
I'm like, okay, I understand it's a mental facility, but they like spend extra time zooming on this sign. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
They really want you to know where they're at.
Yeah.
But I call it a school in reference to Blood Rage. Check out our Blood Rage episode. It's pretty good too. Another good holiday themed slasher, even though it has very little to do with the holiday it takes place around. They arrived at the school to see Grandpa, but he is unresponsive to his family and just has this 1,000-yard stare on his face going on. Also, Billy's dad's name is Jimmy. I feel like they should have named him Bimmy instead. It's a Double Dragon 3 reference with the typo where the main characters are...
I think I went over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, the main character's name is... They're Billy and Jimmy, but there's a typo that says Bimmy and Jimmy.
You can call me Bimmy.
Billy asks, why doesn't Grandpa say anything? And Mom replies that he can't hear them and doesn't even know that they are there. Because it seems almost... Not like comatose, because he's not in a coma, but maybe kind of like catatonic.
Yeah, he's like catatonic.
Yeah. Billy asks, why did they even come then? It's not a bad question, Bert. Answer, so the plot can happen, of course. So Billy stays with Gramps.
Because it's nice to visit.
Yeah. Billy stays with Gramps while his mom and dad go with the doctor to review his records. And that's when things get weird. So eerie music starts to play, and Gramps snaps out of his fugue state and turns and smiles at Billy. Billy tries to yell for his mother, but Grandpa grabs him and tells him to hush, and that nobody can help him now. Forget Santa Claus. Somebody get this guy away from the kid. Gramps starts to get creepy and is scaring Billy, and he tells him he should be scared because Christmas Eve is the scariest night of the year. I mean, it's not Halloween night with Conal Cochran and all of the... Nope. And the Festival of Samhain.
You know, this is kind of weird. I was thinking, this movie's in Utah. There's a lot of Mormons
There
there.
is a lot of Mormons.
And I'm like,
Well, do
And
they
it's like-
celebrate
it's like all
Christmas?
Catholic. All right.
I'm not too familiar with the Mormon religion.
I don't do. Is that all right?
Anyways, back on track. In a chilling delivery, he informs Billy that Santa only brings presents to children that have been good all year and haven't done anything naughty. But for all the naughty kids, Santa punishes them. He then asks Billy, "What about you, boy? You been good all year?" Billy gets those puppy dog eyes and shakes his head no, so Gramps tells him if he sees Santa Claus tonight, he better run for your life as he chuckles and the music crescendos. I'm
so
sure...
real quick,
Go ahead.
they do celebrate.
I kind of figured.
They do
they're,
some
they're
stuff
a
differently.
Christian denomination.
Yeah,
so
but they do, yeah.
or like a
anyways.
branch off from Christianity, Anyway, so yeah. I'm sure, actually, that's probably going to actually matter later. That's a lot of foreshadowing. Maybe this guy knows a little too much. Do you think he stole the DeLorean from Mo, Arch, and Hal and went forward in time to see what was going to happen and then foreshadow this to this kid?
Probably.
You think maybe this kid
I
is
wonder
like
what happened
related
to him as a child. Jeez.
Or he's just some kooky old man. Maybe he's related to Crazy Ralph.
Charles. What?
No, I don't. Oh, man. Good old Charles. As the parents come back in, Gramps turns and resumes staring off into the distance, and no one is the wiser of what just transpired.
All right, stop you right there.
Sure.
This acting, the actor Will Hare, just the whole.
Oh, it's
it
great.
is so good.
It's great. I love this guy. He's one of my favorite creepy old guys in a movie.
I think he comes back in later movies, but this it is so good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably in the second one only because we'll get to the second one, but let's just say the second one is flashback heavy.
Oh, okay.
Like
maybe we learned why he doesn't.
Like it's going to be the fastest probably review we ever do when we get to Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 because at least 50% of the film is just reused shots from the first film from him telling his therapist. It's funny. It's still a fun movie though. Well, if you want the Cliff Notes version of Silent Night, Deadly Night, watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. So it's time to leave school, but before they do, Billy stays behind for a second to tell Gramps that he'll be good from now on. On the trip back home, Billy asks his mom if she was ever naughty when she was young and if Santa Claus punished her for it. I've looked at her filmography, and there's probably a few things she's not proud of, like Extro 2. I'm like, let me look up some random movies from this lady to see if there's any movies she's probably not particularly fond of. To be fair, I've never seen Extro 2. I can't say if it's good or not. I want to see the first one. The first one seems pretty entertaining, and it's weird and off the wall. His mom asks where did he get an idea like that? And Billy gets worked up and tells her Grandpa said that Santa was going to punish him, and he doesn't want Santa to come tonight, and he's scared. The parents look at each other and don't think Billy is lying about it, but she tells him to calm down, and Grandpa is nothing but a crazy old fool. Huh. Crazy?
That's nice to treat you.
Do you think Gramps is related to Crazy Ralph? Oh man, see, I jumped the gun on I should just stick to my notes and I would hit these beats. I think he could be like a distant cousin of Crazy Ralph here. It's got a death curse, Santa does. Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th. You're giving me Gramps' 1,000-yard stare here like you have no idea who I'm talking about. Crazy Ralph on Friday the 13th?
Oh, yeah.
The guy on the bicycle yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, there.
Scary Pod is back. And you've been
I don't
naughty.
think you're Scary Pod. I think the whole joke about Scary Pod being your twin is that he looks nothing like you.
Punish.
I think that's the bit we're going with.
Punish.
Anyways.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah. I can see what you're throwing down.
Yeah.
All right.
So Billy gasps at her remark and tells Mommy that it's naughty to say bad things about old people and Santa is going to punish her. Seriously, this movie hits you upside the head with the foreshadowing. There may be more foreshadowing in these opening 10 minutes than the entire works of William Shakespeare. We cut to a convenience store, and in walks Santa Claus to buy a couple of smokes. But when the guy who runs the place with the mustache better than Scary Perry's jokes around with old St. Nick, he pulls a gun on him and demands all the cash in the register. Instead, the owner reaches for a revolver underneath the counter, but we have kill number 1, Santa shot first.
I mean, I didn't even think he would think that the cashier is pulling a gun on him.
No, he's slowly reaching underneath.
He's just like a damn murderer.
He could be reaching for the panic alarm. He does bring his gun up, though, and that's when he gets shot. Santa blasts the guy in the chest before he can shoot and takes the money out of the register and sticks it in his bag of toys, smokes. Lying on the ground, the store owner tries to raise his gun to shoot, but Santa plugs him in the chest again and puts another round into his forehead for good measure. Santa's in the habit of checking things twice, so this is not surprising.
A little overkill.
Hey, he checks that list twice, man. He's got to check twice, make sure the guy's dead. On his way out, we find out Santa went through all that trouble for $31. And the store owner risked his life for $31.
I mean, $31 in 1971.
I mean, I know it's
that
his
could be
money.
a lot of money.
I know it's his money, and you never know. Santa could have given him a lump of coal anyways, even if he complied. But still, it's $31. Just let the guy take the money and go. You could plug him in the back on his way out.
Yeah.
Although that's actually illegal. You could go to jail for doing that. Despite the fact that the guy's a scumbag and pulled a gun on you and robbed you, you can't shoot a fleeing person in the back.
Just give him the money.
Yep, just give him the money. So Santa gets into his red car and speeds off into the night. Funny, I thought Santa drove a van with a sleigh painted on the side of it. Check out our review of Christmas Evil for that reference.
Oh.
Back in the station wagon, Dad's still driving home while the rest of the family is asleep. And our theme, Santa's Watching, plays on the radio again. The mother wakes up just in time to spot Santa Claus with his red car broken down on the side of the road. Uh-oh, I think all that foreshadowing is about to pay off.
I think you're wrong.
Billy wakes up and sees Santa, but he is scared and tells his dad to keep going and don't stop. There's one thing I've learned: you should always listen to a kid in a horror movie. They're almost always right. Dad ignores the warning and stops to see what Santa's trouble is, but he's the one in trouble as Convenient Mart robbing Santa pulls a gun on him. I don't know what his motive was here. Let me check.
To kill?
Well, I mean, like, what were you going to rob him, or are you just killing the guy for his ride? You could just,
I don't know.
You could just be like, hey, get out of the car, or give me all your money.
Rob and kill.
Like, he doesn't make
this guy's like the Zodiac killer. This guy's probably the Zodiac killer.
But
I know he didn't kill people in Utah.
The Christmas Advent calendar killer.
I don't know. Weird.
It's just like, what's his, like, he pulls a gun. He doesn't make any demands. Maybe he doesn't get a chance to say because, as we see, the dad floors it in reverse. But Santa starts shooting, and we have kill number 2. I shot your eye out, kid. The car veers off the side of the road into a ditch as he hit Dad right in the forehead.
I didn't think he hit him.
Yeah,
because like they were showing the guy just go through the window, and you didn't think he hit him.
Dude, man, yeah, Santa is a hell of a shot. He only fired 2 rounds one-handed and it hit him right in the dome because you get a close-up when he falls out of the, or he doesn't fall out when you go when they show the damage later. Billy runs out of the car to hide in the weeds while Mom is temporarily knocked out. Baby Ricky, just cries and lays there like a slug. It's his only defense.
Okay.
What, you get the reference? It's the line from the Christmas story. That's why I called him Randy, because Randy, when he gets pushed over by Scott Fargus and his toady Gil, that's the line he says. Randy lay there like a slug. It was his only defense. So Mom comes to, but Santa rushes over to her side and pulls her out of the car. He forces her to the ground and rips her blouse open. Titties?
It's hard.
It's always weird during a scene like this.
Stepping away from the movie as an extra, she has nice bosoms. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, but what happening next? It's not like scantily provocative, like stripping.
Yeah,
titties.
This is not how I like my
right.
titties.
Because he's
in movies.
So yeah, he rips her blouse open. Okay, I don't know if I could keep defending Santa here. He's gone full Harvey Weinstein here. So, but before he could do anything, she slaps him. But Santa gives her a slap right back before kill number 3. I saw Mommy being killed by Santa Claus. Santa takes out a switchblade and slits Mom's throat as Billy watches from his hiding spot. Interestingly, though, it cuts away from the actual throat slitting, despite the fact that I know they show it in flashbacks later on in the film.
Yeah, I'm like, why? They just showed this guy like butcher a store clerk.
Yeah.
Not butcher, but literally, overkill.
So Santa stands and chuckles, saying, "Ho, ho, ho. No, Santa. It's ha, ha, ha." Wait, no, he actually got it right. I've been watching too much Christmas Evil again. So Santa looks around for Billy and yells, "Where are you, little bastard?" Whoa, Santa, just because you make the rules for being naughty and nice doesn't mean you get to break them, buddy. Watch the language, Santa. All of a sudden...
He just raped a woman.
Tempted. Well, he just kind of got on top of her. I don't think he got... Although we don't see what happens afterwards because it does cut away. So all of a sudden, the creepy music distorts and fades, being replaced by a song on the radio. This, Sleep, Little Baby. I wonder if this is another song for the film. As we cut to scenes of Santa's carnage, with the mom still breathing, ironically, which is kind of funny. It's hard to do that. It's hard to hold your breath when you're trying to appear dead. I get it. Oddly enough, he doesn't try to kill the crying baby, though. I guess Killer Santa still has some morals, just like Michael Myers in Halloween 2018. He doesn't kill the baby. You can't kill a baby in a horror movie.
Faux pas.
Maybe that's what I'll do if I make a horror movie. I'll have to kill a baby to raise the stakes. Show I'm better.
But
show
a baby can masturbate in a movie.
Oh God, I forget what that movie even is, but
it's a Brazilian horror movie.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out sometime. I have to look up the name of it again. We then crossfade to the next title, December 1974. An establishing shot of St. Mary's Home for Orphan Children, the new residence of the now orphaned Billy and Ricky. Inside, school is going on, and all the kids are presenting their Christmas drawings in class, and it's Billy's turn to put his drawing on the board. When he goes to, one of the students screams, and the nun teacher scolds him and tells her to go to Mother Superior's office and show her the drawing.
Not scolds him.
Oh, scolds him. Yeah, stupid autocorrect in this. This is what happens when you're typing too much and there's different characters.
Pretty good artist.
Yeah, for a little kid. Also, I love how little Billy is rocking a starter mullet here as his hairstyle.
Dude, he looks so like white trash.
He could grow up to be Joe
like
Dirt.
a redheaded stepchild, the epitome of a redheaded stepchild.
In the office, we see that the drawing is of Santa with several swords and knives stabbed into his bloody corpse, along with a decapitated reindeer and bloody axe. Nope, this kid isn't scarred for life or anything. Billy apologizes to Mother Superior, but she isn't having any of it, so she sends him to his room as punishment. The other nun, Sister Margaret, says that this is proof that he still has all the memories of the violence, and it's just waiting to come out. If he doesn't receive the proper help and care, it may be too late as he gets worse every Christmas, but is fine the rest of the year. Mother Superior isn't having any of that either, and dismisses her opinion, saying that he doesn't remember any of it and just needs proper training, and she will take charge personally and do it her way. Nope, I don't see anything bad coming from this. Billy watches all the other kids play outside from his window as the ominous score resumes. Sister Margaret comes to see him and lets him go to play outside with the other children. She leaves him to put his coat on and find the way himself, but as he leaves his room, he hears some faint moans coming from another room. Billy goes to investigate and peeps through the keyhole of where the noises are coming from and finds two teenagers doing the hunka chunka. Also, again, titties!
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka.
Okay there. As Billy watches, the score switches back to some intense music as we get a shot of nun legs briskly walking through the hall on her way to the room. The
titties are nun legs?
Yeah, well, it's one of those shots where you see just the legs walking.
That's your new
no.
Mother Superior. Nun legs.
I mean, maybe that's probably a nun legs.
Damn nun legs.
So the titties also make Billy have some flashbacks to Santa going Weinstein on his mom and her murder. The flashback is interrupted, though, as Mother Superior grabs him by the collar and flings him back against the wall and barges in the room. She yells at the couple and grabs the belt from the guy's jeans, saying they must be punished. Get used to that word being used and thrown around, too. She proceeds to whip them with the belt despite their pleas. That's Billy's cue to exit, and he bolts outside with the rest of the kids. But Mother Superior quickly follows and calls for him. Ricky asks his brother what's wrong, and another kid playing with him calls his brother a nutcase. Well, by the end of this film, he won't be far off.
Cuckoo's nest, cuckoo's nest.
Mother Superior asks what he saw upstairs and if he knew what they were doing. But he answers no to both questions. She tells him that what they were doing was very naughty.
Naughty.
I don't know. I've seen much kinkier. Used to see what a tomato can do with a lawn chair, 6 milk bottles, and a tuning fork.
You missed that button.
That's all right. I got it on the second time.
I do like dick. What? I do like dick.
I don't think that comes up in this one, so
Yeah,
we had to get it in somewhere. At least I don't think I make a reference to it.
Maybe on the... All right, we'll get there.
Fits with my notes and what's in my notes. She adds that they thought they wouldn't get caught, but when we are naughty, we always get caught and then punished. Finishing with, punishment is absolute. Punishment is necessary. Punishment is good. Well, add sexual repression to the list of this kid's problems now.
Is she related to Hitler?
That's
a little extreme. Sorry.
Her methods definitely don't work for somebody traumatized like this with PTSD.
God.
I could see being strict and, strictness helping discipline children and keep them in line, but it's different when you have this kid who's suffering from PTSD. Later that night, I think Billy is having a nightmare with more flashbacks to the grisly murders of his parents, causing him to wake up screaming. He jumps out of bed and runs to the stairs, but we get a Tempo magazine stinger as Mother Superior stops him. So what'd she do? She ties him to the bunk bed. This
is like
tying his arms to the bedpost.
Child abuse, right?
Despite his pleas. I'm sure this treatment is going to help in Mother Superior.
Call whoever the hell, the diocese.
Services.
I don't know, because it's Catholic.
We then cut to the next morning.
Pope.
Right.
So he could bring some more ropes. Or I'm done.
And it must be Christmas because all the kids are opening presents and playing with toys.
No, it's Easter.
Right. But Mother Superior is still in full-time bitch mode as she thinks the kids are greedy and ungrateful.
Even though she probably bought all of them. It's like,
look, lady, you're no Harry. You don't get to have some social commentary on Christmas with how cruel you've been to the kids so far, okay?
Good old nun legs.
So Billy comes downstairs and is allowed to join the rest of the kids and open his present. And Mother Superior confides in Sister Margaret that they will have no more trouble from him thanks to her methods. But Sister Margaret is skeptical. since he has always gets better after Christmas is over anyways. However, Mother Superior is confident that Billy will behave when she has him sit on Santa's lap when he comes over for his annual visit. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, that's another weird thing, you're talking about. Santa sees all these kids and then they
sit on his lap.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
have you ever thought that Santa might just be a creeper?
I mean, it's starting to get really weird.
And all the creepy memorabilia and creepy looking Santa images just start to make sense now.
All right,
no, I'm
little
just
kids
kidding.
cover your ears.
Santa's a good guy.
Little
We're
kids
just
cover
having some
your
fun.
ears. Luckily, at a young age, I learned Santa wasn't real.
Well,
Thanks
that's
to
not
having older
true.
brothers.
I think I make a reference again about the story of Santa Claus somewhere in here. But when the time comes, Mother Superior has to drag him kicking and screaming into Santa's lap. But he just hops off his lap and cold cocks Santa, giving him a bloody nose.
Dude, I understand this kid. He's going to grow up to be big. I don't think he could hit him that hard.
he
like flew backwards like
Santa wasn't ready for
3 feet or whatever. Yeah, like, what the hell?
Santa wasn't ready for it.
Like, yeah.
Santa asks, "What the hell is wrong with that kid? Watch your fucking language, fat man. You're in a religious institution around children, and god damn it, we won't tolerate that behavior here."
He smells like chipped beef and bourbon.
I purposely swore as many times as possible there. That's a joke.
You jolly fucking fat man.
I think I should stop explaining my jokes and just let them run. I feel like that's part of the punchline anymore, though.
Well, some of your ones, the dink ones.
Yeah, they are deep cut references.
So I want to know.
Right, I want to explain them to you.
People want to know.
I wonder if the audience gets some of them without the explanation.
I mean, how many people freaking played Double Dragon 3?
Right. So Billy runs upstairs to his room and cowers in the corner in a fetal position, muttering that he's sorry for being naughty. But we hear Mother Superior's footsteps approaching, and he turns his head toward the door with his mouth agape in terror. And then we 80s freeze frame? Wait, it's too early to be the end of the movie, but we just freeze framed in the 80s.
You didn't let me hum a little.
Well, you can keep humming.
All right. No, you're good.
Well, I guess since the movie just had an 80s freeze frame, it's over. I guess check, please. Nope, not quite.
It's over?
Just kidding.
What?
Instead, we cut to the title card, spring 1984, 10 years later. Thanks, movie.
So that would put
I don't know how to do basic arithmetic.
Put him at 18. 18!
Yep. Sister Margaret is at a toy store talking to the owner, Mr. Sims, trying to get him a job. But Sims is hesitant because it's a stocking job involving lifting crates, and he needs a man, not a kid. I'm surprised I don't have a... What's the...
when you're 18, you turn into a...
What's the song?
Adult, right?
Yes.
So he's not a kid.
He thinks it's like some probably 14 or 15-year-old getting their first job type deal.
Well, I don't know.
What's the song with the sister line in it? Sister.
Well, no, he's 18.
I'm surprised I don't change her name to Sister from the one song. Oh God, what's the name of that song? I can't think.
Oh, Sister Christian.
Sister Christian. What's the line? I can't think.
Motorin'.
Motorin'. That's it. I always just hear the motor part. So I'm surprised I don't have any reference to that in here.
Motor.
I just thought of it.
She's kind of hot, that sister.
Oh, jeez.
Is there none in that masturbating gun movie?
I mean, yes, it's right on the cover. So, but he changes his tune once he sees the muscular hunk that Billy has become. But he ditched that mullet. I'm glad he realized.
He knows the tune.
Yeah. He sings a different tune now. He ditched the mullet, though. I'm glad he realized it wouldn't be a good look for him as an adult. Also, just comment about Mr. Sims here. I'm not sure who plays him, and I even looked at his filmography. Like, he hasn't done too much stuff I'm familiar with, but I swear he just seems very familiar.
His name is Britt Leach. Yeah, he does.
He just looks very familiar, but I looked at his filmography and I didn't really see anything that popped out at me.
Let me see if anything does for me, but just go ahead.
Sure. And not to mention, he's clean cut and looks very agreeable and pleasant. I take back everything
He's in Weird Science. I don't know if that's where you know him from.
That's probably where I know him from.
And The Great Outdoors. Oh, The Great Outdoors.
He is.
Is he the guy that gets struck by lightning?
Yes, he's the guy that owns the lodge and says... he's the guy that owns the lodge, I think.
Is he the lightning guy or the guy that owns the lodge? His name's Reg in that movie.
He might. He's one of the two.
It'll tell me here.
He's one of the two.
Yeah, he's the guy that got
struck by lightning.
That's who he is.
I know I've seen him in stuff.
You guys struck 65? No, 66.
He's pretty good. I like him. I think this is probably the most screen time I've seen him.
He was also in The Last Starfighter. He was Mr. Potter.
There you go.
And Father of the Bride.
Yeah, so he's been in a lot of stuff. I knew, when I was looking at it the first time, I didn't recognize any of the roles. Like, they weren't popping out.
He looked familiar. Yeah, he looked familiar to me, too.
Well, like I said, I take back everything I said about Mother Superior's methods. Since Billy looks clean-cut and, very pleasant and agreeable person, now maybe she can help poor Harry and turn Mas Garcia around.
Oh, that little brat.
I don't know if there's any saving Mas Garcia at this point. Then we get an 80s working montage accompanied by this upbeat music. What the hell is this shit? I thought I was watching a horror movie, not an 80s sitcom.
Oh, God.
During this, we see Billy being a model employee, helping customers, straighting out toy displays and stocking shelves. He even turns down a drink on his lunch break and, wait a minute, a bottle of J&B? I didn't know this was an Italian production.
Very Italian.
But, oh man, I can't help but want all the Star Wars, G.I. Joe,
God.
He-Man, all the vintage
Did you see the
toys
Crawl board
there.
game?
I did. I got that coming up here.
Oh my God. I just want to go back in a time machine and just go buy a bunch
Oh,
of that.
yeah.
And come back
And that's
and
why I
do
got here. I
money.
mean, that stuff has to
They
be
had
worth a
like-
small fortune today.
They had like a whole freaking display of Jabba the Hutt playset.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that's just the boxes or if they actually got the toys and put them there, if that was just cheaper to do it that way.
But which is funny though, because it would have been even in the 70s, Star Wars wasn't even out yet, was it?
Yeah, 78 or 77.
It
was
but this
77.
is 74, right? No?
No, this is 84.
So
1984.
Okay, yeah.
You're thinking 74.
Oh yeah, Return of the Jedi would be out.
I think you're thinking Silent Night, Bloody Night.
I thought
That
they
came out
screwed
in
up.
74.
I thought they screwed up and Return of the Jedi wasn't actually out yet. Like the screw. Never mind.
Well, then how would they have Jabba already?
No,
though?
get that. You call.
Unless they made the toys before the movie.
No, like yeah,
You're trying to say that how would they have Jabba toys if
They must have
Return
got
of the
those
Jedi
like
was out?
fresh off the. I mean, it's like a year later, fresh off the shelf.
Yeah.
They're
Hey,
like,
Lucas knew how to
this
merchandise.
guy's like, all right, just buy a bunch of these Star Wars.
Anyways, back on track.
All right.
here.
Anyway, sorry.
So things are looking up for Billy. He is even flirty with the cute young female employee there. But as the montage nears its end, Mr. Sims unfurls a Merry Christmas banner, which zaps the joy from Billy's face, replacing him with a blank, dour expression.
Well, it's okay. It says Merry Christmas, but it has a picture of an evil-looking Santa.
Also, so as the song ends, we get an establishing shot of the toy star, Ira's Toys, named after the producer, probably.
Yes.
And I guess this was a
is.
Christmas song anyways, because it mentioned Christmas at the end. It doesn't sound very Christmassy to me. Like I said, it sounds like an 80s sitcom
sounds really
music
weird.
until the very end where it mentions Christmas.
Yeah.
As the montage ends, Walmart brand Joe Pesci accosts Billy, saying that lately he's been slacking off and zoning out, using some rather foul language in the process. You know what I mean? This guy's like short. He's kind of got like when Joe Pesci had like thicker hair, like a thick hairstyle.
A little attitude.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like Joe Pesci, but yeah, he's kind of got like a Joe Pesci look on his face, like a short, angry dude. That's what he kind of reminds me of.
Be prime zoned in Italy.
Yep.
Or Utah. Italy. What am I saying?
Billy tells him to just leave him alone and walks back out to the showroom. But he hears the ho 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 and Merry Christmas as we cut to another Tempo magazine stinger, as we see the store Santa sitting in his sleigh, causing Billy to tremble and have some more flashbacks to the killer Santa from his youth, causing him to stumble backwards and knock over a toy display. At least he didn't knock over the Diet Pepsi display, like at Walnut Lake Market.
Best supermarket ever.
That's right. Prices you'd be willing to die for. Billy heads back into the...
Oh, give me a second. I gotta go take a quickie.
What?
Give me a second. I gotta go take a quickie.
Huh? I'm
I
confused.
said, give me a second. I gotta go take a quickie.
Okay. I'm not getting the reference here.
Quickie? You referencing Intruder?
When's he say quickie?
The fucking killer. When he has to go take a shit or whatever he does. He's like, is he taking a shit or a piss? He's like, I gotta go take a quickie.
Oh, okay.
You don't remember that?
It's been a while, man.
What?
It's been a while.
Oh my God.
Anyways, moving on.
All right.
So the cute female employee Pamela comes over to help him, and holy shit, is that a Kroll board game behind them? That looks awesome. It always amazes me how much Kroll merchandise there was, considering I don't think that movie was like a great hit or anything and never really took off. I think it's more well known for the Atari game. I feel like that's the biggest thing Kroll's contribution was the Atari game. Billy heads back into the stockroom, but he's breaking out into a cold sweat, and we fade to a scene of him making love to Pamela. And we got some titties again. Ugh. But we get a side shot of Robert Brian Wilson's hairy ass, added to the list of ever-growing numbers of celebrity man asses I never wanted to see but did. All of a sudden, Santa's knife-wielding hand comes out of nowhere and skewers Billy, slicing him down his side. But before I could say kill number 4, Billy wakes up because it was all a dream. And he curls up into the corner, and we get some more flashbacks to him as a kid in the corner. It looks like Mother Superior's methods
That's
are working
me
well.
in the corner.
Also,
Losing my religion.
geez, there are more flashbacks in this movie than in Argenta movie. At least the dog doesn't have a flashback in this.
You sure about that?
I think so.
I think the whole movie's set up in the dog's mind.
Next, we're back at the toy store, and there is a problem. The store Santa broke his ankle ice skating, and there are no male employees left at the temp agency. Mr. Sims definitely doesn't want to do it, so who is going to be Santa? Billy, of course. What could possibly go wrong? Also, there's some convenient Pepsi product placement with knockoff Joe Pesci here. Get Pepsi sponsorship? Come on, man. Make it happen.
PepsiCo.
As Mr. Sims and the other older female employee, I believe her name is Mrs. Rend, admire Billy in the costume in front of the mirror, I can't help but notice the conveniently placed fire axe on the wall.
Her name is Mrs. Randall.
Is it Randall?
Yeah.
It was hard to hear. I just heard it sounded like they said Rand. So I just wrote that down.
She's also in
To be fair, I just call her the older lady from now on. Who's she in? Oh, hold on.
As the woman attendant. So she must have been in the beginning. One of the
I think she
paramedics.
I think you're right. I think that's probably who that is. I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah. All right. Anyways.
So yeah, there's a conveniently placed fire axe on the wall. You know, real subtle movie. You don't think it's too subtle, do you? Ghostbusters line there, Peter Venkman, when they're putting on the very small Ghostbusters sign. It's like, you don't think it's too subtle, Marty, do you? Yeah, that axe there. It's like, you don't think that's too subtle, do you, Charles Seller? You don't think people are going to be like, that axe is going to be used to kill a bunch of people later on? Mr. Sims gives him the advice to not scare the little bastards, because some kids think Santa's scary. Gee, I wonder why. Right, Billy? Then we cut to Billy being Santa with a line full of children waiting to see him, but the current girl on his lap is squirming around. Billy warns her that she is being naughty. And
he got a little aggressive with her.
And he punishes naughty children severely. And that gets her to sit still in fear.
It's so weird because, like, the mother's, like, maybe 3 feet away.
Right.
And she could probably hear, but she's talking to Mrs. Randall.
Right.
So, like, he was, like, stern.
Man, who knew fear is a good deterrent for bad behavior? But anyways, like you're saying, all these MILFs look on impressed with the way he handles the kids.
Yeah, this is...
Well, it's like, ladies, did you see the same thing I did?
Am I watching, like, the prequel to, like, I don't know, Jingle All the Way or something,
right.
or some Arnold movie. You know?
Oh, so just look at the grins on these ladies' faces. I didn't realize playing Santa was such a good way to get some strange.
Hey.
like you know what I mean? The looks on their faces, like they're like, oh man, that guy, he's a pretty good looking Santa,
and he has a way with.
They were
kids.
they were definitely like giving him the the wink eyes, wink wink, nudge nudge.
Sure, gotcha.
Santa Billy gives her a candy cane and she runs sniveling over to her mother, but Mr. Sims looks satisfied with his decision to make Billy Santa and goes on his way. Meanwhile, the phone rings in the stockroom and it's Sister Margaret, and Budget Joe Pesci tells her that Billy is their Santa now at the store. And the ominous music kicks in as dread consumes her face. We then jump
Well, you didn't say who called. Unless you said it real
Sister
fast.
Margaret. I did. I said Sister Margaret.
You said it real fast.
They heard.
She's hot. All right, good.
Okay. You got some sort of nun fetish there? I mean,
No,
it is in your
know.
life story, so I imagine.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't know. What's her name? Sister Margaret?
Yeah.
Who plays her? Shout out to Gilmer McCormick. How are you?
Oh, jeez.
Well, she has a child. Maybe her child is... All right, I'm done.
There you go. So the phone rang. So we then jump to closing time at the toy store on Christmas Eve, and Mr. Sims locks the doors and proclaims that it's time to get shit-faced and laughs. So they pull out the conveniently placed bottles of liquor they had underneath the counter and throw a little after-work Christmas party. I question the work ethic of this place. People drinking on their breaks, booze on the counters. It sounds like these people may need punished. So they have Santa Billy joined in on the fun, and he gets his first taste of booze. Mr. Sims pours him another, and he tells Billy that by the time he's done, he will think he is Santa Claus. Man, this movie isn't very subtle. Then again, with a title like Silent Night, Deadly Night in the box art, you already know where this one's going anyways.
Yeah.
But do you know who the real winners are at this party? The smoking hot blonde with short hair and this older, late middle-aged sales guy who are going to disappear after this scene without a trace. I can only assume they left the party and shacked up for the night. Good for that guy locking down his future trophy wife. It's like the guy with the mustache and the baby blue shirt in Blood Rage during the football game. That guy, we made a comment about him, but then he's never in the movie the rest of the movie.
Those are the best.
They are. However, great value Joe Pesci and Billy Squeeze sneak off into the back. Then we cut to creepy animatronic Santa. Seriously, why does every Santa decoration look creepy or sinister?
Yeah, and this is where you start getting a lot of those shots of
Yes, this is a lot.
Footage.
There is one before this. I didn't write it down. It was very brief, though, and quick. But this is where, a lot of the extra footage starts getting put back into the film. Billy sees the two making out. Poor Billy. I thought he had a shot with her. Mr. Sims wanders over, shit-faced as promised, and asks Billy what he's doing. Billy says he's thinking about his parents, which Mr. Sims, he's all drunk, slurring his words, says, Good. A boy should think of his family at Christmas time. But he forgot that they were dead and apologizes and quickly changes the subject. He tells Santa that he better sober up because he has a long night ahead. Billy replies, huh? But Mr. Sims says, you know what Santa does. Oh boy, does Billy know what Santa does all right. Again, very subtle movie. Mr. Sims adds that he better get started. I agree, it's been a while since anyone has died in this film. This is also one of the grainy insert scenes like you mentioned. There are going to be a lot coming up here. He also states that the party is dead anyway. Oh, give it about 1 minute and you'll see. Finally, he tells Santa, go get him, which doesn't help with the two still making out in the back. Are they going to be the next sinners to be punished? The couple go into the stockroom, and we get creepy animatronic Santa again. Seriously, I'm beginning to think that Santa in real life was most likely evil. Maybe Christmas Evil was onto something with the title there. So, Great Value Joe Pesci has a present he wants to give her. In his pants. Billy slowly starts to make his way back to the stockroom, past the vintage mousetrap board games and some cheap-looking costumes that not even those kids from Halloween 4 would wear. What does he see when he gets back to the stockroom? But Budget Joe Pesci trying to get frisky with Pamela, despite her rejections. So, Budget Joe Pesci here, he rips open her sweater to reveal her turtle doves. But before he could stick his partridge in her pear tree, she bitch slaps him. But that just makes knockoff Joe Pesci go full Weinstein and force himself on top of her. And, Billy is starting to have flashbacks again. And then he finally snaps and yells, "Naughty!" Throwing him off of her, and we have kill number 4, hanging up the Christmas lights. Billy grabs a string of Christmas light decorations above the table and strangles Great Value Joe Pesci.
With one hand.
Yeah, it's actually pretty gruesome for a strangulation.
It's a really good death.
Yeah, it's not very bloody, but there's surprisingly like a lot of blood from the strangulation.
Yeah, they both
which is
played it very well. Yeah.
Yeah. So Pamela throws herself at him in gratitude, and they live happily ever after, right?
Yeah.
Nope. Instead, Pamela begins to sob and says he's crazy and hits him. Whoa, how ungrateful considering he just saved you from being Weinsteined. And you know what Mother Superior thinks about kids that don't show gratitude, right?
Punish.
That's right. Meanwhile, Mr. Sims thought he heard something. In good horror movie fashion, the other lady dismisses it, and they don't investigate.
Punish.
This leads us to kill number 5, Pamela's punishment. Billy grabs a nearby box cutter and cuts open her stomach like a kid opening a Christmas present. Normally, I don't approve of opening your Christmas presents early, but heck, we usually open one gift on Christmas Eve, so I'll allow it.
Punish.
Finally, Mr. Sims goes to investigate in the stockroom, and we are teased with the faint jingling of Santa's bells on his suit.
So, like, when he goes to leave, then, like, cuts back. I know you might say this. It cuts back to Mrs. Randall. She's like, whatever his name is, "Where you at?" Not even, like, 5 seconds later. "Where you at?" And she just keeps doing it. I'm like, will you give him a chance to answer?
I don't have that in my notes, but I tried to trim things down. I love the jingling of the bells here, the little subtleness of that from his suit.
Yeah.
So as Mr. Sims gives up looking and goes to leave, he becomes kill number 6, hammer time! Billy comes around from behind a shelf with a hammer and plants it claw side first into Mr. Sims' skull, splattering blood all over the cardboard boxes.
He actually got struck by lightning.
Yeah, I know I've used the hammer time pun before, I think back in Halloween 2.
That's all right.
But hey, I mean, you roll with the puns the movie gives you.
That movie's growing on me.
Good. Another neat, not shown but implied kill that really works with the blood splatter, because a ton of blood just splatters over these cardboard boxes. Back with the other lady, Mrs. Randall, she calls out to Mr. Sims when the lights cut out, leaving this nice Christmas ambiance with all the Christmas lights shining in the dark, train set going around, the tree, except for all the creepy animatronics. Those things are just weird.
I think that's Santa.
Right. She goes into the back room looking for Mr. Sims, but all she finds is a Tempo magazine stinger and Mr. Sims' corpse with a hammer in his head. The music ramps up and then she makes a run for the front door. But of course it's locked. But she and the camera spot and zoom in on a rotary phone, so she runs over to call for help. But before she can ask the operator for help, Billy has an axe for her instead and chops off the cord. She runs off and hides, and Billy goes looking for her while reciting the lines from "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." He eventually spots her hat between the shelves, but when he takes a swing at it, it's a decoy, and she bursts out from behind her hiding place and knocks him down, grabbing the axe.
Smart.
Now, what's the logical thing to do here once you have the killer's weapon? If you said use it to kill the killer, don't be ridiculous. Run to the storefront and use it to break the windows and escape. But before she can do this, she becomes kill number 7, arrowed.
All right. Where the fuck did you get an arrow? Bow and arrow.
I got a couple lines.
Is this a fucking sporting goods store?
Billy shoots her with a bow and arrow through the chest.
Like, when I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
The 80s, when deadly weapons were sold at children's toy stores.
I mean, you can go to Walmart now and get, Red Ryder BB guns. But, geez, what the fuck?
She collapses into the fake snow of the front display, accompanied by some extra creepy music as creepy animatronic Santa watches and judges her. I know I was complaining about the time between kills in this movie, but geez, you just killed most of the people we knew. Who's Billy going to kill now?
Punished.
Well, that's his cue to exit, so Billy leaves to find some more people for his naughty list.
Naughty.
But before we leave the toy store, we get to see his carnage again as we get close-ups of the corpses of the lady, Pamela, and Mr. Sims, each accompanied by a Tempo magazine stinger. After everything is said and done, Sister Margaret arrives looking for Billy, but it's too late as she sees a lady's lifeless body and she screams. This is a cool shot because it cuts to
She's hot?
No, because it cuts to a bunch of nutcrackers around the store with their mouths open as if
crocked
they too are
mine, huh?
screaming.
What?
Jesus. Oh, man. We then cut to a bunch of carolers singing in the neighborhood, but forget about them because inside one of the houses, Linnea Quigley is making out on a pool table with some guy. The guy proceeds to turn on some more appropriate tunes from the tape deck to drown out the noise of the carolers.
He looks like Johnny from Karate Kid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I got that. Budget James Spader.
Yeah.
I got that.
Wait, James Spader.
Well, he did play the Karate Kid, but he reminds me of a Budget James Spader.
No, the bad kid. Johnny? Was he Johnny?
Yeah, I know John.
Sweep the leg, dude.
Yes, but...
Or not him, but the
James Spader is like the go-to 80s bad guy.
Okay.
Blonde hair. You've seen James Spader. He's in Pretty in Pink. He's a douchebag.
He's Ultron. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but in other movies, in the 80s, he was the go-to
Blacklist.
teen 80s bad guy.
Blacklist.
Yeah.
Ultron. What is that noise?
Oh.
I'm hearing noises. Am I in a simulation?
Yeah.
Wait, that gas station is glitching over there.
The gas
Shit.
station's burnt down,
I'm
remember? It
getting scared.
exploded.
I'm getting scared.
The gas station
They
exploded.
rebuilt it. Look.
No, they still haven't rebuilt it. You know how long it takes to rebuild a gas station?
They got budget from selling all the stuff.
They still gotta clean up all the rubble over there. It's gonna be a couple
It's all
months.
about merchandising. Merchandising.
It's going to be a little while. I know you're sad because that means it's going to take a while to rebuild that bathroom to its pristine glory.
I'm not shitting in this place. I'm not taking a quickie here, a quickie there, a quickie anywhere. Get me out of this Matrix hellhole.
But yeah, like I said, the guy puts in a tape to drown out the music. But geez, what happened to the Christmas spirit? Oh wait, I forgot. Nothing's more important than boning. And well, if you know anything about Linnea Quigley, she's going to be topless at some point with a 50-50 chance of her being in a shower.
And she's going to get boned.
So the guy unbuttons her top to reveal Linnea's glorious rack in its 80s prime. What?
She's going to get boned?
I don't think that's a good punchline.
What the fuck? Okay, go ahead.
But their hunk of chunk of time is interrupted by her little sister calling down to her, wanting to stay up and see Santa Claus.
Hold on a second. I need a petition to get my own soundboard. He is like a control freak over here. I need my buttons. Let me press a button.
Oh, why?
Where's the dick button? I'll press that one out.
You're fine. Why would we press it now?
Well, why would we press it now? Because I want to press a button. I would like to press buttons. All right, go ahead. Anyways, the kid.
Yeah, the little kid wants. She wants to. No, I think it's her sister.
Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's her sister.
Yeah.
Either way, it's some little brat that's in the house. So
she's not a brat.
You know, she's not a brat.
Well, she should never have children. What the hell? She was
it's just a little kid. All right. That's what you call little kids. You call them little brats. That's what Mr. Sims would call her. Little brats.
That's not
around Christmas time.
You should.
Anyways, she wants to stay up and see Santa Claus. And look, kid, he's either going to be some escaped lunatic from Burley, a crazy guy obsessed with Christmas and a sleigh painted on his rape van, some guy with PTSD that made him go on a killing spree, or a crazy Bill Goldberg. But trust me, either way, you don't want to stay up to meet this guy. Have you seen Christmas Sleigh? I've never seen it. I've heard it's actually not too bad.
I know Goldberg's in it.
Yeah. Perturbed that her sexy time is being interrupted, Linnea tells little Cindy Lou? What's the name from the Grinch?
Yeah, Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou.
Who?
That's why I thought Cindy Lou Who. To go back to bed because her getting late is more important than seeing Santa. Cindy starts to climb down the stairs, but Linnea yells at her to not come down because they are doing their homework. Yeah, they must be studying sex education. She adds that if she doesn't go back to bed, Santa won't come. The boyfriend quips that he's not the only one. It's actually a pretty good pun there. So you're telling me that Santa Billy wouldn't have showed up to kill these two if little Cindy would have stayed up? Huh. Also, this script is right on point with the setup and follow-through. Defeated, Cindy relents and goes back to bed so Trash can show this guy how they are going to make love until they die, which is probably not long given what's about to happen. However, their passionate dry humping is interrupted when she hears some jingling outside. Uh-oh. She thinks it's the cat's caller and leaves knockoff James Spader with blue balls for now as she goes to let him in.
It is the cat's caller.
What's that?
It is the cat's caller.
Well, yes, but we don't know that. That's what she thinks right now. Putting her shorts back on, but not her top.
But she's right.
Hey, we paid to see Linnea topless, and damn it, once those boobs are out, they stay out until her role in the film is done. So she goes up and opens the door to let the cat in, just showing her tits to the world. But just as the cat runs in, Billy comes out of nowhere yelling, "Punish!" She screams and runs back inside.
So she did hear the cat.
Yeah, but it was for also Billy, probably.
I know. Yeah. It's a very obedient cat.
She closes the door behind her, right? But Billy hacks through it with his axe and a Tempo magazine stinger. She runs away, but is eventually cornered, and Billy manhandles her, picks her up, and we have kill number 8. Linnea's rack gets mounted.
This is a good kill.
It's probably the best kill of the movie, the most notable. It's one of the
There's
more
a
memorable.
lot of them.
This movie actually has some pretty good kills. So Billy lifts her up and impales her chest on a set of mounted deer antlers on a deer head mounted to the wall. You might call it a rack on a rack. I feel like I've been using this rim shot button too much, but...
See, she did get boned.
Well,
hit the button,
yeah, I know antlers are... fine, I'll hit the button for you.
That was more funny than your fucking Iraq joke.
A rack on a rack.
Oh.
Because, her rack...
Iraq?
No, her rack is
Iraq.
on an antler rack.
Rack.
No, nothing to do with the country.
The rack.
Nothing to do with that country ran by a dictator who had a better mustache than you.
But I do like dick.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, moving on. We're off the rails on the
Getting a
terror.
little silly.
We're off the rails on the terror train again.
I got too much Christmas cookie sugar in
Right.
me.
Meanwhile, Tommy is playing with his balls, his billiard balls, that is, not his blue balls, and apparently did not hear any of that
He's
commotion
playing
over
real
his jam
pool,
and mixtape.
not pocket pool.
That's right. I'll give you a
Thank you, I love you.
He goes upstairs to investigate a Tempo magazine stinger as he sees that someone else mounted Linnea before he could. He gets jumped by Billy, but manages to grab a fire poker to try to defend himself. Ask Will how that worked for Joan Collins. And whatever you do, don't make a run to your dildo phone. He lands for that reference. Watch our listen to our Tales from the Crypt episode. The movie,
I recommend it.
The 1972 movie, not the television series.
I recommend it.
I highly recommend it too.
I recommend you listen to all of them right now.
Oh yeah.
Do not go to sleep.
Just put it on a playlist.
Do not work. Do not attend to whatever you need to do.
Subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, all that jazz. So he lands a couple of whacks on Billy, knocking him over the railing for the downstairs staircase, and takes this opportunity to grab the phone and call for help. No, that's the exact opposite of what I told you to do. You don't go for the phone. But Tommy wasn't quick enough, as Billy is already back upstairs and flings him away from the phone and then uses the phone cord to strangle him. Tommy kicks Santa in his jingle balls to escape his grasp, but that only stops him for a second before he knocks Tommy to the ground and rips his shirt off of him. Why? I have no idea.
We already saw him without a shirt.
Then he grabs him by his pants, and we have kill number 9. Can you fly, Tommy? Billy hurls him through the second-story window to his death, and we get a sweet shot of his body, all scratched from the shards of glass and with one giant piece jutting out from his stomach and another stuck in his face.
Nice kill.
It is a nice kill. And I think that's back-to-back episodes where I reference Clarence Boddicker.
Over my head.
From RoboCop.
Over my head.
Santa
I'd buy that for $1, though.
Indeed. Need that soundbite. That's a good soundbite. Santa retrieves his axe and gets ready to leave when the little girl calls out to him. He pauses to see her and asks her if she's been good or naughty. She says she has been good, so he gives her a bloody box cutter. Hey, don't knock it. That's a practical gift with useful applications around the house.
I'm like, I totally understand. I'm like, I'm going to see a child get married in this room.
Right.
I'm like, the way he's holding it out, he's getting ready. Like, if she would have said naughty, he's going to like...
All right, so Billy heads out, but we get one last shot of Tommy's mutilated corpse and get a better look at another shard of glass that's stuck right in his face, accompanied by a Tempo magazine stinger. Looks pretty good.
Good stuff.
We cut to some police officers cruising around looking for the Santa Claus killer, and they happen upon a Santa climbing through an upstairs window at a house using an extension ladder. They spring into action and rush inside and head upstairs to a little girl's bedroom and pull their guns on Santa as he approaches the sleeping girl in her bed. But before they can go full Ben Tramer on Santa, the girl exclaims, "Daddy!" and his life is spared. The angel of Ben Tramer was truly looking out for another potential murder of someone falsely accused of being a slasher villain.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Sure.
He actually might be a slasher villain. All right, so the person in that Santa suit climbing up was Donald Shanks, and he played Michael Myers in Halloween 5.
Yes, he did. Good call. And before we go back with Billy, I think now's a good time for us to take a brief break, and we'll be right back with Billy. And we're back.
A dinosaur story!
And like I said, we're back with Billy here, and he's walking down the street singing doo-wah-diddy, diddy-dum, diddy-doo. But he hears the sirens of an approaching police cruiser, so he ducks and hides off the side of the road. Next, we meet up with these two dorky kids getting ready to go sledding during the middle of the night for some reason.
These guys are weird.
It's probably almost midnight. And
Yeah,
I'm like, who the hell wants to be out sledding at midnight?
I guess Utah must be boring.
But they're going.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Utah people.
Yeah, there's a lot of farmland. Yeah. So they're getting ready to go sledding on this virgin hill, as one of them calls it. And the other quip's the only kind that he'll ever get. I gotta give that a rim shot because that's pretty good. It's a pretty good dig. However, the one hesitates for a second because he hears the jingling of bells. Someone else is there with them. And then out jumps good old Santa Claus? Not yet. Instead, out jump two older bullies who beat them up and take their sleds and scare them off.
So weird. The one kid though, with the mouth, he had some good, quips and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's some. But when somebody's got you in a chokehold, you probably don't want to be mouthing off.
Yeah,
to somebody.
no, I understand that. But yeah.
So They haven't stolen the sleds, now get ready to go sledding. But we hear the ominous sound of jingle bells again. Ignoring this warning, the one slides down first. And once he reaches the bottom, it's great value Scut Farkas's turn, screaming like a madman. Madman Mars? Different
Dude,
movie.
this hill looks so shitty. Like, I've been on steeper hills than this.
Right? It's not, but hey, he gets some good traction because they roll pretty good.
Yeah.
But yet, he's going down this hill like it's the greatest thing in the world, like shouting, hooting, and hollering. It's just sledding, dude. It's not that exciting. I'm sure it's
not
probably
even that great of a
I'm sure it's
hill.
probably fun, but I mean, I don't think I've ever really been
You never
majorly
sled?
sledding. No, I've never been anywhere. Like maybe in the backyard on
I know
something.
some big
but
sleds, and then I've skied before, and
yeah, I'm sure it's not.
I
like,
got some stories for that for another day. I almost killed myself twice.
Oh, jeez. You almost Sonny Bono'd?
Yeah.
That-
And
yeah,
who else
poor
died?
Sonny Bono.
Who else died? Somebody else almost died.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, it's.
It was like around the same time. It's like two
I think
people.
so. Didn't he run into a tree?
Yeah.
That
And
sucks.
there was somebody else. I think it was one of the Kennedys. I don't know.
I think
who.
you are right. I
Yeah.
think one of them, or at least had a skiing accident.
Yeah.
Either way. But before we can reach the bottom, we have a Tempo magazine stinger as finally out jumps good old Billy E. Claus, declaring knockoff Scut Farkas as naughty. And we have kill number 10. Oh, what fun he'd wish he'd have, but instead we have a no-head brutal slay. Billy decapitates him with his axe, and as his friend waits for him to reach the bottom, he is greeted by the headless corpse still riding the sled to the bottom, while his severed head slowly rolls down afterward. This kid starts going apeshit. Woolie's gone apeshit, screaming, but before Billy can cross him off the naughty list, we crossfade to the police station. Sister Margaret is sleeping on a bench inside, and the detective wakes her to inform her of Billy's killing spree, stating that there were 3 more murders. So I guess that one kid lived then? The kid who was screaming at the end as he saw knockoff Scut Farkas roll down? What the hell, man? How did Billy let that kid live?
I don't know. It's scarred for life.
Yeah. Based on Billy's history, they come to the revelation that Billy's next move is to head back to the orphanage. So we cut to the orphanage. There are a bunch of little kids running around opening their gifts inside, and that bitch Mother Superior is harking on them to write a thank you letter to Santa for his visit later. Man, this movie is on point again. Not a line of foreshadowing or irony wasted here. And we see she's now wheelchair bound to show that she's older. Get it? Movie magic. You want to show somebody they're older? Just give them a limp. Throw them in a wheelchair.
Oh, so much for nun leaks.
Oh, we are getting money's worth on rim shots in this one. However, in her office, one of the kids is pretending to use the phone with her doll and leaves the receiver off the hook. Uh-oh. I'm sure
Pick
that's
up
not
the
going to matter.
receivers. I'll make you a believer.
Of course, this means the line is busy and the detective can't get a hold of the orphanage, so it's time for him and the sister to head out to the orphanage. But first, he calls out at dispatch for every officer to head out to the orphanage ASAP, or ordered to shoot to kill if necessary. I'm sure that's not going to backfire, no pun intended. And the closest car to answer the call is from Officer Better Stash than Scary Perry.
No way.
Hey, wasn't this guy just in Halloween 4?
This looks like
I think-
this looks like the grown-up kid of Billy when he was 8.
You
Like
think?
he grew up to be this guy.
I like to think that this guy is related to the guy from Halloween 4, the other deputy. But before he arrives, we get some ominous music as we see the feet of Santa Claus marching toward the children playing outside the orphanage. And the kids run over to greet Santa as he crosses the street. As Officer Stash approaches, he quickly hops out of the car and tells Santa, hold it, but he doesn't listen, and Officer Stash plugs him in the back with 3 rounds, killing Santa right in front of Ricky. Also, we have dirty snow, then as we get a close-up of Santa lying on the ground, we have clean snow with it lightly snowing. Excellent job on the continuity, guys. Meanwhile, Sister Margaret and the detective get word about Santa being shot, but it's the wrong guy. They instead shot Father O'Brien, who was playing Santa for the orphanage that year. Whoops! He's deaf, so he couldn't hear Officer Stash shouting at him to stop. I'm like, hey, the angel/ghost of Ben Tramer can't save everybody from his cruel
That
fate.
kid that got
You get one per movie tops.
blood spatter. I don't know if it was Ricky or not. Would be whoever that got blood spatter on would be traumatized for life. Like more than Billy.
Well, if you see the sequel,
What? It's just a recap.
there's
All right, keep going.
You'll get the sequel some other time. Back at the orphanage, Mother Superior chews out Officer Stash for shooting Santa, but he warns that a killer is still on the way, so he goes out to patrol the grounds while he tells her to not let anyone in that they don't know. Mother Superior and the children sing Christmas songs to lift their spirits, while outside Officer Stash patrols the bleak, windy winter landscape. Really love the landscape and the wind here. It really captures kind of that melancholy outside winter mood this time of year. Especially in Ohio, we kind of have a similar atmosphere when it's windy and, there's not a lot of snow on the ground. It's still cold, but not like so cold that it's snowing at the time.
60 degrees outside.
Yeah, we got a little
And then
bit
it'll
of a heat
probably
wave.
snow tomorrow.
I think it's supposed to cool down by the weekend, so now this upcoming scene is very dear to me from my childhood. We get a Tempo magazine stinger accompanied by the creepy piano again as we focus on the outside shed-like structure and the door to it swinging slightly from the wind. Officer Stash goes to investigate, and we get another Tempo magazine stinger as the wind blows the door completely open. He moves quick with his pistol drawn, thinking someone is there, but the stairway leading down is vacant. He proceeds to check the next room, which kind of has this boiler furnace-like looking device in it. Wait, I know they came out on the same weekend, but I thought we were watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, not A Nightmare on Elm Street. Which we'll have more to say on that probably during your fun facts, huh?
Probably will.
Unless you want to mention it now?
No, we'll do it later.
Okay. However, the coast is clear in this room too, so he relaxes his guard and goes and climbs the stairs to leave, when at the top, he walks into another Tempo magazine stinger and kill number 11. Punished! Billy pops around the corner and plants that axe into Officer Stash's chest, and he tumbles down the stairs. Sorry, I couldn't think of a good Christmas-related axe pun. Sorry. They all can't be winners, people. Like I said, I vividly remember this scene from watching this movie as a kid. When I picked this up sometime and watched it for the first time again, some years back, probably 8 years or so, I picked it up at the Exchange one time. I thought I had never actually seen this movie, but as I watched it, it all kind of seemed vaguely familiar to me until I got to this scene, and it all came back to me in an epiphany and a moment of, I remember that guy getting hit with that axe. I'm sure I probably had it on VHS recorded.
Are you having any PTSD?
No.
You okay?
I was just, it was exciting.
Have you been having flashbacks
Dude, it was
lately?
an exciting moment for me when
Exciting?
I realized it was another childhood mystery solved that I didn't even know was a childhood mystery. I got a couple other, I've solved a lot of childhood mysteries. I've been going through my VHSs a lot just to, old recordings, just watch them. I watch them on fast forward, see what's on them. And then toss it out just to, remember my childhood and stuff. So I've been exploring a lot. I don't remember coming across this one, but it's probably like, oh yeah, I already know about this childhood memory. So
a whole night's worth of Girls Gone Wild advertisements.
No. Oh, these tapes were well before that was even a thing. I had to, on one tape, I had Motel Hell, which I remembered always fast forwarding and seeing the ending of Motel Hell. I watched it a few times when I was younger, but it was always trying to get to the movie after Motel Hell. And I thought I would never remember what that movie was. That was after Motel Hell. I thought it was just a childhood mystery lost because I'd never find the tape. But I found the tape, but on the tape it said Ernest. Not that I don't like Ernest, but it turns out
we love
I believe it was Ernest Goes to Jail is on after it.
That's the good one.
Which is a good one. But I'm like, man, I was really disappointed. I thought it was some even better horror movie than Motel Hell.
It is
because Motel Hell is okay. But I was kind of a little let down. I'm like, oh, this was what I was really excited to try to remember one day. I got one other childhood mystery that still remains unsolved that I'm trying to solve. Anyways, back to the story. With his axe still dripping with Officer Stash's blood, Billy decapitates a snowman outside before approaching the orphanage.
The fuck does snowman do?
Yeah. Just put the hat on the snowman and then he comes to life and it's like, happy birthday, please put my head back on. Billy is standing at the locked front door, and a kid sees him and goes to let him in before Mother Superior notices that he has wandered off. Actually, no, I think it's a little girl. Either way, it's some little kid.
I think it was a boy.
Was it a boy? I couldn't remember.
It could be
I couldn't remember.
Looked like a girl, looked like a boy.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was a boy or girl. It's not an important story. She tries to tell him not to let him in, but it's too late. Billy walks in, doing a terrible job of hiding that axe behind his back, and all the kids are excited to see him. Mother Superior warns them to get back, saying there is no Santa Claus. Whoa, lady. Every kid has the right to find out that Santa isn't real at their own pace. Also, I already went through this spiel in the Christmas Evil review about the real origins of Santa Claus and him being a real person, so go back and listen to that episode if you haven't. It's pretty good. It's also a pretty solid movie. Also, I'm pretty sure Santa is real, and he's out there cruising the sky in his sleigh van before Tim Allen kills him and takes over. I think that's gonna be.
That thing is I think extended. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
I stopped at number 2.
Yeah, I've never watched any after number 2.
Yeah.
I think that's continuity for our universe, that Harry became Santa, but eventually the Santa Claus is a continuation from Christmas Evil, and he takes over being Santa.
Makes sense.
He kills Harry and takes over being Santa.
So that's who dies at the beginning.
Yes, it's Harry.
I mean, that's scary to go back to that Santa Claus movie.
Yeah.
That guy dies. It's like you fucking killed the guy.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's
kind of macabre.
Yeah, nobody mentions that about the Santa Claus. That Tim Allen straight up accidentally killed Santa Claus.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, he's injured and now he has to take over his hire. He killed Santa Claus.
And Judge Reinhold's like a therapist or whatever.
Oh, Judge Reinhold. Yeah, he's in Gremlins, another Christmas themed movie.
He's in a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Love
He's in
Beverly Hills Cop movies.
He's in one of my favorites,
So
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes. A lot of stuff.
I actually need to sit down and just watch that movie all the way through, start to finish, because I always just catch it on TV.
I need to watch that movie, period. Sorry.
It's pretty good. I make a lot of references.
I've seen the nude scene, but
There's this knockoff, not to get off on a side tangent here, get back to it. We're actually doing pretty good on time, but there's a knockoff called Hot Times at Mount Clair High or something on Tubi. I'm like, I have to watch this Fast Times knockoff.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It is blatantly just like based on the name. Instead of Fast Times, it's called Hot Times. I have a feeling it probably might not be very good, but I love, like, there's a lot of, like, those just low-budget, like, 80s sex comedies that are pretty entertaining that I've gotten a kick out of watching. Back to the story here. Billy declares Mother Superior to be naughty and takes out the axe and gets ready to plant that sucker right between her head in slow-mo. But the detective arrives with Sister Margaret just in the Saint Nick of time and plugs him in the back with a couple of rounds of Christmas cheer. All those little kids are petrified now. Poor Billy.
Sister Margaret looking hot. Oh, I'm all right.
Billy collapses to the ground as Sister Margaret hovers over him. He stammers out his last words to the children. You're safe now. Santa Claus is gone. And his head falls back as he dies, implying that, just like Santa was violent to him as a child, they have nothing to fear anymore because Santa is gone.
Sure
Poor Billy.
That?
Well, but then the camera pans over slowly, past Billy's dropped axe to his brother Ricky standing right at the axe's head. And he glances up from his dead brother and looks at Mother Superior and utters out one word. Naughty. Man, I love a good sequel bait ending. A final Temple magazine stinger cues up the music, and we 80s freeze frame and fade to the rolling credits with the Santa's Watching theme playing over it. And that was Christmas Evil. That was Silent Night, Deadly Night. Or was it, what was the other one I said? Or
Bloody
Christmas Sleigh.
Oh.
Or Silent Night, Bloody Night. Although I don't think there's a killer Santa in that one. It's been a while since I watched that one. Thing with Silent Bloody...
What came first?
Actually, Silent Night, Bloody Night came first.
Oh, really?
It has a couple alternate titles, too. But the weird thing about that one, it's very dark. Like, just the entire lighting and everything. I've never seen it in, like, a good colored up version. I don't know if it actually exists, but we'll cover it sometime. Anyway, so yeah, that was the plot of Silent Night, Deadly Night. So before we take our last bite, do you have any fun facts to share with
I got
us?
some stuff. I got some stuff. All right, here we go. So this movie... We'll get into this right now.
Are we doing the Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes.
All right, so I'll lead with it came out on the same weekend as A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Same weekend as on Nightmare
on
Elm Street. It actually outgrows Nightmare on Elm Street for 2 weeks.
Yep.
But then the movie was pulled.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the heavy protesting. Go ahead.
There's
and elaborate
protesting
on the protest.
done by the group Citizens Against Movie Madness, and
Cam.
That's one reason. Also, Siskel and Ebert, they condemned the film on their show, their daily show.
Yep.
They said that the filmmakers were making
actually
blood money on
this. There's some specific quotes from people who protest and outraged from newspaper clippings and interviews. It's kind of interesting.
Like, and the big complaint was like they would just show trailers. They must have bought a lot of TV space because they would show trailers of the movie and they'd show Santa with the axe. And I think some Christmas song played. I can't think right now. Or like Here Comes... Yeah. Something. It could be Silent Night, Deadly Night.
And as we pointed out, there's been other Killer Santa stuff before this.
Yeah. So...
And other Christmas horror movies, like I said, Don't Open Till Christmas, I think came out before this.
Well, then... you had the...
Christmas Evil came out before this.
And actually,
the Tales from the Crypt came out before this.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All with Killer Santas, or at least Christmas horror. And nobody protested.
This is probably during the Satanic Panic. I don't know.
Yeah,
it didn't really
video
say that.
nasties in Great Britain was a big thing going on at the time too.
Yeah, So yeah, they brought up a lot of ad space, and this would show like on daytime TV after like Days of Our Life or during commercials of Days of Our Life.
That's probably not the best time to air
with
the
like
ads.
a Santa carrying an axe, and they didn't want to see that. I think that this is the big reason.
I wonder if that was the fault of the networks not airing the ads more at night.
I think this is the big reason why this got pulled. TriStar, they distributed, the film. And at the time, Coca-Cola owned TriStar. And Coca-Cola has
the Santa, ads, and the Santa Coca-Cola ads. Yeah.
I think that was the big thing. They're like,
to be fair, those Santas look creepy too.
Yeah, I know. That's probably why it got pulled. Shouldn't have been pulled. No,
it's interesting enough. Silent Night, Deadly Night outgrows the Nightmare on Elm Street on those opening weekends.
And they could have probably...
and not that this is a well-known film and very infamous in its own right, but nobody is heralding this as being better than A Nightmare on Elm Street or anything, which is very interesting.
No.
So, I don't know if you have this fun fact, but one of the big protesters of it was actor Mickey Rooney. And you know what he'd go on to do?
This. Go ahead.
He went on to star in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker.
I heard,
which all the sequels after
he didn't
3,
know it was that. That's what I read. He didn't know.
But it's just funny. Anything you'll do to make a buck. But it's still a Christmas-themed horror movie. But that's the thing. After number 3 loosely ties into the first 2, but after number 3, number 4, and number 5 have nothing really to do with.
And then they
the
loosely remade it with Malcolm McDowell, which I hear isn't bad. It seems like it's bad, but I haven't seen it.
I've heard it's more based on a true story than this one is.
So a couple things about the director, Charles Sellier.
Oh yeah, he's done some stuff I've recognized too.
He did like the Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. That's what he's all really known for television.
I know.
I'm sure he's done a.
I know there's a couple movies I recognized. Did he do?
I mean, a lot of these aren't. I don't see a lot. Annihilators. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I see.
I can't remember. You read so much stuff and I don't write it down because it's not my thing.
So, but anyways, other directors that were considered to direct were Sam Raimi, Albert Magnoli, and Ken Kwapis. But ultimately, he got the part. The concept of a killer Santa, and why I don't know if this is why it's called Sleigh Ride. It was actually from a Harvard University student. He wrote a short story entitled "He Sees You When You're Sleeping." His name was Paul Kamier, and he got credited in the movie. And I think he sent it in. Then they contacted him and asked if they could use it. And then they cite him. Story by Paul.
Yeah, he's getting a paycheck.
So that's because they like the idea that I guess the more killer Santa. So for all the scenes that involve somebody dying, the director didn't direct any of them. Because he was squeamish. So
I do remember.
So
that's funny.
The guy who wrote the screenplay, or no, the editor, the editor, Michael Spence, directed all those scenes.
Gotcha.
This movie was submitted 4 times to the MPAA to get an R rating. Because it kept getting, probably the NC-17 rating.
Oh, did they release it unrated? Because it says the original unrated version, which would imply that this was the version that ran in theaters. So they might have went with an unrated. Kind of like Dawn of the Dead, they just said, screw it, we won't release it with a rating.
Ooh. Cut myself. Sorry. I forgot to make my little check marks.
Probably a nail sticking out of the table. God damn that, Dolores.
Just this place is dumb.
Oh, yeah, Dolores didn't even bring us any drinks today. What the hell, Dolores? Forgot to rag on Dolores today.
Let's get to this before I get to this. Sure. So what did you have how many did you have for a body count?
So I don't count Santa getting 11 altogether. I don't count Billy getting killed at the end. I don't count the guy shooting the Santa Claus. And
how many Billy kills do you have?
Billy kills, so obviously the first guy killed the first 3. I count those because that guy's a scumbag. You know, the scumbag store robbing Santa. That would be 3, so 11 minus 3 would be 8.
So I think you're right on target. They have, in this, on IMDb, they have 9. They're counting that kid that they didn't say on the radio. Mac, it says off screen.
Yeah,
so, but out of all the total people who died in the film, there's 14.
Correct. And also, like I said, at the police station, they said there was another 3 murders, which would be Linnea Quigley, her boyfriend, and then just the kid that got decapitated. And so if you follow that, then that means that kid lived and he probably reported it.
But they're saying he got off screen. Well, whoever, I don't know who edits this.
Was it Wikipedia?
No, IMDb.
Oh, IMDb? Well, jeez. Take your picks. There's wrong information on those sometimes. So
this movie, estimated budget of $1,065,000. It grossed, for its short time and bannings and everything, worldwide, $2,496,460. They claim that if it were to stay in theater at the time, it would have generated well over $20 million. That's
a good possibility.
Yeah.
Especially with the Christmas season coming up.
Let's see.
Because it was released in November.
It made $2.4 million the first day it was released.
It's pretty impressive.
Even though it grossed? I don't know.
I don't think those numbers add up there.
Yeah, that doesn't add up. So I don't know where that is. That is completely wrong. So
one of those is wrong.
Okay. I don't know. All right, anyways, so then it has a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. Surprisingly, it has a lower audience score. It's 40%.
Yeah. And people can't appreciate high art.
And IMDb has it at a 5.8 out of 10. And that'll lead us to our...
All right, so it's time to take the last bite. Silent Night, Deadly Night is one of the best Christmas slashers. Maybe not quite as good as Black Christmas, but we'll cover that one sometime. It perfectly incorporates the elements of Christmas into its story, and the holiday doesn't just serve as window dressing like in other horror films that take place during Christmas. The plot moves along at a solid pace and has a great setup for Billy's eventual psychotic snap and killing spree from witnessing the brutal murder of his parents as a child. The acting is pretty solid too. Robert Brian Wilson delivers a memorable performance as Billy, and the portrayal of the strict Mother Superior by Lillian Chauvin gives you that villain to root for their demise. But you may have to wait for the sequel for that satisfaction. While only briefly in the film, I love the grandfather played by Bill Hare. He's just so creepy and sets the tone of what is to come in the rest of the movie, kind of back to the 9-minute rule. And hey, I'll never say no to an appearance from one of my favorite Scream queens, Linnea Quigley. Her breasts are a welcome sight in any 80s horror film. The score is fantastic, with the movie having its own catchy original Christmas songs, especially in Santa's Watching, but it's the rest of the score that seals the deal for me. It's like any other music would expect from a solid slasher, but it just has this creepy, wintry, Christmassy feel layered into it, with its chimes and the piano and keyboard that makes it feel like Christmas horror music. Finally, the kills, as we've said throughout, are pretty great, with some solid level hacking and slashing combined with over-the-top, starring Sylvester Stallone, kills, like the antler impaling and the sledding decapitation. This is definitely a Christmas horror movie you want to find under your Christmas tree. Overall rating, I give it 5 pancakes. Not covered in syrup, but it's a great slasher film. Deserves to be up there with many of the others. Like I said, maybe not quite as good as Black Christmas. I don't want to spoil what I'd probably give Black Christmas. Black Christmas is an all-time classic horror movie. And with that, I'll send it over to you, Scary Perry, for your last bite.
All right. I liked a lot of the acting in this movie. First off, I think this was his first obvious movie. Robert Brian Wilson as Billy, grown-up Billy. I think he did an excellent job. I also like what they did where you think when he would be walking around, slaying people, no pun intended, that he would have his beard over his mouth. But I actually kind of like the look where he doesn't have it over his mouth.
Yeah,
going around.
because you still see his face.
Yeah. Also in the acting, I thought the lady played, I don't know how it's pronounced. The lady played Mother Superior.
Lillian Chauvin, I think is how it's pronounced.
Chauvin. Sister Margaret was good. Gilmore
yes.
McCormick. I mean, that acting
was pretty solid all around.
Yeah, and they weren't like real big, well-known people at the time. I think that's what I was reading, that they kind of a bunch of people.
None of them ever really probably went on to like super big roles.
No.
Just solid bit performances.
But also the grandfather is really good. Yeah, I do like the atmosphere of the movie, where it's set in. It's filmed in I believe late February, late March or something.
Oh yeah, perfect time
in Utah, and they had to film all the outdoor stuff first because the snow was melting.
Right.
But it was just perfect for the shots. It it added to it. I mean, it does hit you right bang in that the first with that Santa killing the thing, and then what happens to that film. It's a little over the top there. I mean, you weren't expecting that. I know you eventually, but I'm like, whoa. It's This guy's doing all kinds of stuff. The music, like you said, great original songs, great timing for stingers and just, setting the mood in some scenes. There's some moments in the movie that seemed a little slow, between kills and just
but
weird dialogue.
Setting up for the final act with Billy going on the killing
but
spree.
It's not
I get
that,
it. But it's a good setup and it's interesting.
I think, I mean, the movie wasn't that long. It just they weren't extreme
89 minutes
lulls in it.
Oh, actually, only 85 minutes.
There wasn't extreme lulls in it. But anyways, getting into summation, it has the what I want for slasher movie. It had the kills were great.
Oh, yeah.
Good kills. The acting wasn't cheesy.
Good effects too.
They had there's some cheesy acting, like the 2 weird kids or the 4 weird kids on the hill. You're gonna have that. But it wasn't too campy. Yes, campy. I like how it was structured, and I thought they really did a decent job. And all together with everything else, like I said, acting, soundtrack, the movie. I'm gonna rank this movie as naughty. No, I mean, I'm gonna give it 4.5 cannolis out of 5, and I definitely recommend people to watch this during the holiday season or whenever, because it was a really good movie.
It's a solid slasher.
I like it.
On the level of Intruder and some of those other great classics.
Yeah. It's different, and that's good.
Oh, yeah. It's a good Christmas,
it's a good different.
Unlike Black Christmas, it leans more into the Christmas tropes. Black
Yeah.
Christmas, it's just kind of more set around
it
Christmas.
It doesn't do it so cheesy. Like
No.
some of Christmas Evil was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
This doesn't. This
I still
does-
really like Christmas Evil.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I like.
But I
the
do
movie.
like this better than Christmas Eve.
I think obviously I think my record is better than Christmas Evil, but I don't really know what I have it at. But yeah, I did like it better than Christmas Evil. But I like them both. They're still good. I recommend them both. But yeah, this was good. It was fun.
Alrighty. So on that note, you got anything else to say about Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Well, I think I'll save it for next episode for this part of it. The thing I have. Naughty. Punish. I'm gonna throw up a poll on my Facebook if we should punish the Mad Pancaker for trying to kill me with a silver shamrock mask, or actually succeeding to kill me.
That was Connell Cochran. I had nothing to do with that. Our late great sponsor, Connell Cochran of Silver Shamrock Novelties. But anyways, I think that wraps it up for this episode.
Maybe I'll put a cigarette through your
And
head.
whoa,
Well, I mean,
whoa,
I
simmer
just get a
down
little
there,
help
David Copperfield.
with David Copperfield.
Anyways.
Hey, it could happen. You won't die.
Anyways, so you could follow us on social media. I'm the Matt Pancaker on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me pretty much everywhere. You can check out the YouTube channel. Hopefully more
What's your
short
OnlyFans?
films.
You got OnlyFans?
Find the Matt Pancaker channel. No, I do not have OnlyFans, but we do have a Patreon.
We do.
Patreon.com/Matt Pancaker. You could support us there, and
Please do.
you could find Perry. He's at Scary Perry or at Perry Scary on Facebook, but
Not
his name
to
is
be
Scary
confused
Perry.
with a Halloween store in Illinois.
But speaking of Patreon, so on Patreon you get access to our polls, which are also on Facebook and Twitter, but the votes count for double on Patreon. So, and speaking of which, we have, just like last year, we had a poll for our upcoming New Year's episode.
Oh boy.
Last year we reviewed the New Year's slasher film Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis. That was the winner of the vote.
Do not watch the remake, whatever you do. Please.
Yeah, Perry had a hot cake about that in our previous episode. Check out our Halloween 4 review. So, the contestants for this one, so we'll go through the runner-ups, and then I'll tease you with what the final one will be.
Drum rolling.
So, the other two, so we had 3 choices this time. The other 2 that did not win were Bloody New Year, which I love the little tagline as on the poster here. Should old acquaintance be forgot or just brutally murdered? And as I pointed out on Facebook on my comment of the picture, it's like nobody remembers the lyrics to that song anyways. The New Year's song that they sing when the ball drops. It's like, should old acquaintance be forgot?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Nobody knows the lines to that. So that's
odd
why.
lace, odd
But I love that
lacing.
it's used in this
Whatever,
tagline
yeah.
here.
Odd leads. I can't. Whatever it's like.
So that movie, the basic premise is it's like a supernatural horror film, takes place at this hotel on an island in July for some reason, or in the middle of summer. But there's setup to it. I haven't seen it, but there's New Year's decorations and it's haunted by ghosts and stuff. It's a little bit Evil Dead-y in that regards. The other runner-up was a film called Ghost Keeper, and stop me if you've heard this one before. A bunch of people get stranded in a hotel. Difference between this and Bloody New Year is instead of ghosts or whatever, or demons or zombies or whatever the heck they are in Bloody New Year, it's a Wendigo. And it actually takes place on New Year's Eve.
I love how it says, not a tagline, but as a like one of those reviews to pop. The last 15 to 20 minutes is tense and horrific, treading the middle ground between psychological and supernatural. Okay, so I just will skip to the last 15 or 20 minutes of the film and I'll be fine.
So that brings us to our winner, which I will tease as I always do. So join us next time, but don't you dare make New Year's resolutions unless you plan to live. Until next time, check please.
Lars!
The International House of Horror.